Check this out. Lease a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Sport CVT for just $279 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment. VIN S3723202. MSRP $32,189. $33.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved Tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit. 10,000 miles a year. Model code SRD-21.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ, that's JOEQ, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Let's go. It's time for Sedano and Kap.
A little sabor, and we're going to just nosh.
It is George Sedano. It is Scott Kaplan. Sedano and Kap is on for your Thursday afternoon.
I'm going to have to say respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
Here we go. LA Afternoon Drive takeover time on this Thursday, June 12th. Sedano live from Indiana, where the Pacers took care of business last night. We'll talk about it. Cappy and South. Thank you to everybody who came out to Islands Restaurants yesterday. Island Bars to press the flesh with the whole crew. Wins, Cappy, Beto Duran, and Funchy Lover.
Oh.
I'm on with Sedano.
Followers.
Maliava, because I thought it was like I'm a-leaving.
A duck butt. What is that?
We'll talk about the NBA Finals. Dodgers beat those little sad Padres as we get ready for the Giants, the hated ones. Those scumbag Giants over the weekend for Father's Day. Plus, we'll do fun and frivolity. We got Lindsay Baseball. We got Funchy Lover. We got Producer D, Young D. The social team in the back end, of course, Sedano and Kap. Let's do it, the LA Afternoon Drive. Takeover.
Hey, Jerusalem Cherry.
He likes to lay the wood.
Yeah.
You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year. Ha-ha!
Christopher can go to hell.
Oh, nothing worse than the horse.
Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like, how do you say his name? Asminger?
Asminger. Hey, these Hard Knocks guys are all over me right now. It's like I'm back in Dayton. You are a bit killer.
Because you got to talk about sperm?
I mean, look at me. I'm a hot piece of ass. I mean, look at him.
Whoa, man, I didn't know they come up on the glass like that.
Sedano and Kap, your Thursday afternoon right now.
Bing, ba-da-bum. Boom, bing-a-bum, ba-da-bum, ding, da-da-bum, ba-da-bum, doom, da-da-bum, boom, boom, yeah, come on. Boom, ba-da-bum. Ba-ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bing-a-boom, ba-da-bum, bing, ba-da-bum, doom, da-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bing-a-da, ba-da-bum, yeah, We keep going off. Keep on going. Yeah. George, I'm just looking at you sitting in your hotel room in Indianapolis and listening to Mike. Mike Trudell can blow, bro. That's all I'm saying. Mike Trudell can do it.
Well, George has had a lot of meetings today, Cappy, so I was just trying to take like a minute and a half of airtime right there for him to rest.
Well, you did a hell of a job. Fried, but I can keep going because I'm a trooper.
You know what, man? Let me tell you something.
And I will say this, and this is all I'll say. Every single day, we should all be blessed to be in our situation that we may be in, professionally, personally, whatever. But there are things that transpire in the world that sometimes weigh heavily on me, and others as well, I'm sure. And we are here to be the distraction. I understand that. But sometimes that is very hard to do.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. No doubt
all
about
I'll
that.
say. And just leave it at that.
No, you know what? Listen, since you said it, I'll say something too, which is this. You know, I used to not be that distraction guy. I used to be like, let's talk about what's really going on. I've learned to become the distraction guy
because the things that are being done, the things that are happening in L.A., the way they're being described, et cetera, yeah, it's George, even though you've been out of town for the last couple of weeks, seeing coverage, watching something that happened today on social media, which I don't know for sure if that's what you're talking about. It's probably something. Hey, listen, I was always let's not pretend like it's not happening, but I've become let's spend some time having fun and let's be the distraction. So I'm glad you said that. Good start.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about a couple of things, Cappy. I actually want to start not talking about the series, okay? Well, you know what? Here's the thing. We usually have a scheduled shenanigans segment, as Lindsay likes.
Well, it's like a warm-up. We like to get loose, you know what I mean? Like to stretch it out a little bit.
We have
Mike
things written down for it, too, Cap.
Yeah.
True.
Mike is here, and I do want to get into Mike.
I'm here.
I do. Oh, and Funchi's there.
Right, that's a different Mike.
Yeah. And I do want to get into what Magic Johnson said today on television, because I think anytime Magic Johnson says something about the Los Angeles Lakers on national television, I think it's a worthwhile topic to discuss. But, Cappy, I will give you the floor for the next 5 minutes to ask me anything you want about what has transpired in my travels in Indianapolis.
I am so glad you said that, because you know damn well that I want to dig in. So,
I know you do.
Okay, game ends last night. Loved the post-game interview with Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, it was
fun.
fun.
Thought the question about his dad being in the house was great, but even better than the question was his cute answer about his dad and his jeans he was wearing.
Out of pocket.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, it's got a funny text from Mike, as a matter of fact, on that answer.
Mike, what did you think?
I just enjoyed that. I enjoyed George getting that out of Halliburton. So, sometimes a less skilled silent reporter maybe would have just called it a day, and he's like, you know what? I think I can get a little more color out of this one.
Get a little personal,
got a little funny comment out there. So I appreciated that.
So George, here's what I want to start with, and I appreciate you knowing that I want some answers. So here goes. You ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Game ends last night.
Right.
What happens after the game? What'd you do?
So game ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for Mike to go off the broadcast. And Halliburton, as you recall, after being done with me, you saw him on camera. He walked over to Reggie Miller. He tugged it out with Reggie. Now, I had seen Reggie earlier in the game, and Reg has always been incredible to me. So he was there, obviously, as a luminary for the Pacers. And we had chit-chatted before the game. I met his family. And then after the game, I gave my mic and my pack, my IFB pack, back to the technical op person, and I turn around and there's Reg again, and I just said, "Hey, Reg, man, great to see you." We hugged it out, and then that's it. I was waiting for Mike Breen, as Breen was going to do Van Pelt's show.
Okay,
and then we were whisked off to dinner after.
Okay, yeah, that's so now. Okay, thank you for leading me. Dinner.
Do you call him Reg?
Yeah.
Well, can I just ask one thing, George, about this whole line of questioning?
Yeah.
Should you and I really be asking Cappy questions about this series as the person who came in here as picking the Pacers, talking the Pacers up?
We will. We will get to that.
Okay.
There's no question.
Because
yes,
Michael, I will explain to you why I picked the Pacers.
Yeah. I mean,
okay?
and so clear. I'm just saying, like we've kind of been branded as the ball knowers out of this group, but there's only one of us that's been right. That's Cappy.
Well,
so far,
but it's early still. Well, listen, I'm not. I don't have a victory parade scheduled yet.
I'm just trying to lead you close to the sun. I'm just trying to get you close to the sun here.
Thank you, Michael. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not doing any victory laps quite yet. So okay, so dinner. Okay, you wait for Breen. Breen's done. Who's going to dinner? Let me hear about that.
So dinner, first of all, we go to this place down the street called Prime 47. They generally stay open pretty late. It's literally like a block and a half away from the arena. And we go over there and try to go. So we couldn't get to the block of the actual restaurant because literally people were like on the streets. Like it was nuts. It's like they had won the title, it felt like already based on the reaction in the city. And so we couldn't get the car through, so we just told our driver, hey, we can just walk. It's only another block. Mm-hmm. So Mike and I get out of the car and
just
try
the two
to walk.
You?
Yeah.
Okay.
And try, because other people were getting there different ways,
okay,
right? So, because Richard Jefferson had to do a podcast still, so he was going to be a little late. And our producer, Tim Corrigan, the great Tim Corrigan, who's my boss, was going back to the hotel to pick up his wife. So just a lot of people going in a lot of different directions. So we get on the street, and you can imagine after the Pacers have won.
That Steak and Shake must have been just lit. Right there.
It probably was lit. We walked past. We walked past. It was the other direction.
They weren't going there for dinner, Mike.
Yeah. So our driver, our ops manager Ben Mendoza says, who's an LA guy,
local guy, huh?
Yeah, local guy. Yeah. And he goes, "Are you guys going to be okay?" And I literally said these words to him: "If anyone even pretends to lay a finger on Breen, I'm not above fighting them, Ben. Don't worry about it.
If anybody pulls the Wendy treatment on
I will lay drunk fools out if I have to."
All right.
And everyone gets a chuckle out of that. And I just said, I ain't above. Listen, I can remember how to fight, okay, if I need to.
Okay.
And
you explained to everybody you are a black belt. Everybody
I
knows
did not explain to everyone anything.
Nobody knows this is on the resume?
I don't believe so.
You don't think Mike Breen knows you're a black belt?
I just said I'm not above fighting if someone tries to lay a hand on our guy Mike Breen.
Okay, so somebody comes close to you guys, you give them a ha-ha. You're happy to do that. Okay,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Yes,
okay, keep going.
So then Mike has a funny quip of, well, they're all happy because they won, so I don't think we'll have any of that. But try to walk a block with Mike Breen when a bunch of drunk Pacer fans celebrating, understandably so, are out there. There's a lot of Mike Breen, bang, bang, bang for an entire block. A couple of pictures, and same as we walk into the crowded restaurant, but eventually we make it to the table. And, PJ was there. There was a high-level NBA league executive there. There was another executive from what we will call a transportation company there. The radio team was with PJ. And then eventually we were joined by the now radio sideline reporter, Vanessa Richardson of the Rockets, who is there doing my previous role for the moment. And then Richard joined us as well. So
so dinner sounds like a nice dinner. By the way, these dinners are hilarious to me. Like and Mike, you and Michael Thompson and John Ireland seem to have them everywhere. You guys are like, nobody ever just goes to Chipotle. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, hey, the game is over. We're going for big fat dinners, steaks, bottles of wine, like big old fat dinners, and that's what that one sounded like last night. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now,
sometimes yes, sometimes we do the quick ones, but more often than not, you're right, Cappy.
Yeah, they're big dinners. Now, George, the next day, this morning, I had sent you a text earlier in the day. I kind of figured today would be a busy day because there's only one day between Game 3 and Game 4.
Correct. So a lot of stuff has to happen today.
So now I know we're kind of going to get up against the break here, but I want to hear, just give it to me, meetings and what's going on as we get you all the way till what I think is now 5:30 local time there. Are you
6:30.
Oh, you're
I'm
on
in the
Eastern
Eastern
time.
time
Okay,
zone,
gotcha.
So wake up. There is a pickup time we have our own meeting, an internal team broadcast meeting, like our own group, small group. Then there is a larger meeting, and this is going to happen tomorrow as well. There's a larger meeting with the global, more global ESPN group, and then there is a league meeting with everybody to make sure everyone's on the same page. And then the player availabilities come. So they will, like today, they brought Benedict Mathurin and Tyrese Halliburton from the Pacers to us, to our broadcast crew, and SGA and Jalen Williams to us after they were done, or when they were ready. And then after that, it's, there was another meeting, post-meeting meeting. And, I didn't even get back to the hotel until 3 o'clock. And then I had a bunch of obligations for hits and things of that nature to get through. I found a few minutes to get 30 minutes to get a workout in. I spoke to Lindsay for about 10 minutes. And that's pretty much been the day.
And by the way, you think, being road weary for all these weeks of being out on the road and traveling all over the place, if you feel like you must feel, and I'm feeling your feeling, or at least I think I am, think about these players. Think about going through a regular season. Think about going through a postseason. Think about having to exert what they have to do every single night. And these are the remaining, whatever it is, 25, 26 guys on the planet that are still in uniform every night and still giving it every last thing they've got. And when I look at like the hockey playoffs, like here we are tonight, Game 4 of those guys are just exhausted. Their bodies are beaten and bruised.
Well,
Same
I thought
for these
both
NBA
teams
players.
looked tired yesterday, if we're being honest. I thought down the stretch the play got a little sloppier because guys looked tired.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'll say to this, Mike, I'm going to live your life if we get to a Game 6, which I think we will, because I'm going home after Game 4 for a very short, brief stint to get new suits, wash some clothes, coach Mateo's basketball team, go to one of Aria's activities, and then fly to OKC for then the meetings the next day. So literally a very quick pit stop at home. But if there's a Game 6, I've already told the league, I'm going on the charter, bro.
Yeah,
I am not doing this like connecting flights thing.
No. You should tell Adam Silver, hey.
No, it wasn't Adam Silver.
Well,
It
I'm
was
just
the
saying this is who you should talk to. You say, hey, move. I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
Silver, get up.
Wait,
I
so
need that seat.
Is this the league? A league has a charter plane?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do the
media people can get on it, but as rights holders, they have reserved space for us.
What about like Breen and those guys? Do they fly on that?
Yeah, Breen is part of the rights holders.
No, I got that, but you chose not to use it. He chooses to use it.
Yeah, Breen used it the last time because his flight got delayed just like mine, but he called at like 1 a.m. and got on. I didn't want to call somebody at 2 a.m. I probably should have had he did.
You should have. They're 24/7 during the finals, Jack.
Yeah, I mean that is one part of since I work for the team, I haven't had to deal with those types of travel things, which absolutely make things a lot harder, just from an energy standpoint. So that is one thing the players are obviously protected from, Cappy, right?
Well, good job, George. Good job. First of all, great job on the broadcast. Secondly, great job. I mean, not great. Good. Good job of describing what happened last night. It would have been great if you'll give names. I hate when you give me this league executive, that executive from this travel organization,
first of all,
etc.
you wouldn't know who any of these people are. So it
Well,
doesn't really
but
matter.
it's important. I like
Certainly
names.
The audience
I like
wouldn't know.
details. I'm a detail guy, is what I am. I'm a detail guy. All right, well, listen, let's do this. Let's talk about the game. What do you say?
Let's do that on the other side, Cappy. We have game talk.
With real ball knowers.
Ball knowers.
And real ball knowers, and then me and Mike.
That's right, exactly.
Then it should not be plural. Real ball knower.
Yeah, Nostradamus of this series, even if by luck, Scott Kaplan.
Not
there
luck.
You go. All right, let's do it next.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah. Tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes.
LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
30 years ago, Wu-Tang Clan changed hip-hop forever. Now, it's time for the Final Chamber. Live in Los Angeles, Wu-Tang Clan, together, live on stage, the beginning of their final tour. Crypto.com Arena, June 22nd. With Run the Jewels. Get tickets now at WuTangClan.com. Wu-Tang Forever, the Final Chamber. Produced by AEG Presents.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Mark your calendars, SoCal. The High Desert Beer and Wine Festival returns to the Palmdale Amphitheater on Saturday, June 21st from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sample craft brews from regional breweries, sip fine wines, and enjoy tasty food trucks while rocking out to live performances from Eve 6, DJ A1, and some of the best cover bands around. It's the tastiest party of the summer. Tickets available at highdesertbeerandwinefest.com. General admission and VIP options available. That's highdesertbeerandwinefest.com.
This Father's Day, help Dad be all he can be with a gift from the Home Depot. Because he's not just Dad, he's the handyman of the house, the plumber in a pinch, and the emergency mechanic. Upgrade his gear this Father's Day with the Husky Mechanics 270-piece tool set from the Home Depot. Now on special buy for $119, a $695 value. For every kind of dad, find the perfect gift this Father's Day at the Home Depot.
Harry Douglas here. La Quinta by Wyndham is deeply grateful for all our military members, veterans, and their families. We understand the dedication, sacrifice, and hard work that comes with serving our country. As a thank you, we offer 12% off our standard rates, upgraded Wyndham Rewards Gold status membership, and preferred parking. We want to make your stays as comfortable and rewarding as possible, and we're proud to serve those who serve. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Visit LQ.com to learn more about our special military perks and discounts. Restrictions apply.
And it is Sedano and Kap here Thursday afternoon. Today is Hairless Dog Day. Hairless dog. You know, Sedano is very hairless. He's mentioned that before. That's not some state secret. And on this day in 2011, the number one hit, Adele, Rolling in the Deep. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
That's funny. It is. I'm not very hairy.
Cappy, what's your body hair like?
You know, Michael, I have a decent amount of like curly cues on my chest.
Yeah. How about back?
But no back really. Although I have had
That's
my
good.
back waxed once.
Oh,
but
really?
not because like it was a hairy back. Like, you know, certain guys that are so hairy that the hair comes out of their shirt.
Yeah,
You can
they look
see
like
that
a
they're
rug.
like wearing a sweater, right?
Yeah.
But no, just a couple of hairs here and there, and I was going on a trip and I wanted to look nice and clean. But from the legs all the way down to the feet, there's not a hair on any of them. Nothing. No hair anywhere. No hair on the legs, man. Smooth.
Did you used to have hair? Because I noticed that my father, as he got older, I noticed that he kind of lost all of his leg hair, but like he had some. So is that an aging thing?
Not really. I used to be embarrassed, like in high school and in college. Like I used to actually shave my ankles, like where they would tape your ankles for football practice.
Well, that
you
had
know?
to hurt. It kept ripping it off.
And then Mike, I shaved my legs and pits and everything completely when I was doing Ironmans and when I was doing triathlons. You know, so I would shave them off.
That makes sense.
But I was like, I really didn't need to because I'm just not. I don't know. The legs, not a lot of hair.
Okay.
Not a lot of hair. How about you? Are you a hairy guy?
Nah, I'd say pretty average hair for a like Western European mutt. Yeah, like lighter hair.
Yeah.
Cappy, I'm going to turn this light off behind me because I would imagine that's distracting when I move.
It is. When there's three of us on the screen, it's no big deal. But when there's two of us on the screen, that light is like I need my sunglasses with that light on in your hotel room behind you.
Well, I'm just excited to learn all of the basketball that you've forgotten, Cappy, as you educate us this segment.
See, I think here's the issue. The reason I took the Indiana Pacers to win this series, and again, I'm not doing a victory lap quite yet, but I will say this. I don't think most people thought Indiana would be up 2-1. I don't think most people would have thought Indiana was going to win Game 1 in Oklahoma City. And, Mike, I want to tell you something. For as much as I have been a Halliburton supporter this playoffs, because remember, when Stephen A., when Indiana was playing New York and Stephen A. was putting down Halliburton, to prop up his guy, I was saying, I love Stephen A., but I don't like this whole line that he's got going on right now. The thing is this. It's twofold, Mike. One, nobody picked the Pacers, so
right.
I love an underdog.
Okay,
That's
fair.
number one,
Got
okay?
it.
And remember, if the Pacers lose, I don't look so dumb because nobody picked them, right? But if the Pacers win, boy, do I look smart because nobody picked them. So that's kind of one angle to it. And the other angle of it is this. It's not an X's and O's thing. It's not a matchup thing. George, you know what Tyrese Halliburton is?
A heart and soul guy.
You are freaking A right he is. That's exactly right. The Indiana Pacers have heart, and I learned that about them in these playoffs. And so going into this final series, I was like, that's the team that's got the bigger heart, in my opinion. And by the way, I still may be proven wrong. I mean, Oklahoma City's talent might outweigh what I see as Indiana's heart, but I just see Indiana as a team that has huge guts, huge heart, huge cojones, the whole thing.
No doubt.
And that's why I took them to win the series.
Well, they are also the second best team in the sport since January 1st, which is not a small sample size. And the team
Except
above
against
them,
the Lakers. 0-2 since January 1st against the Lakers.
Right. Okay, I get it.
Just
But
saying.
didn't matter because the Lakers went home
Just
really
that,
early.
just a fact. Just a simple fact.
Yes.
Simple fact.
So you're saying that if the Lakers were in the finals, the Lakers would be up 2-0 right now?
No, I kind of want to ask George this because watching Game 3 for the first time, I considered the possibility that Indiana could win the series. So game 1, right? It's very easy to say, okay, ridiculous collapse. Of course, incredibly impressive for the Pacers, but OKC controls that game. Then they bounce back in Game 2. It's a blowout, kind of what we expected. But in Game 3, and I've witnessed this in person many times, going back to the Kobe, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom Lakers, when you split at home and you're the favorite, which the Lakers were typically the 1 seed or a high seed in that run, and same thing in the 20 in the bubble. When you lose one of the games 1 or 2, the great teams almost always punch back in Game 3 and get home court back. It's almost like it's not a desperation game, but it's kind of like we're not letting you hold on to this feeling right now to really believe. And I thought, George, and I'm guessing that you did too, that OKC would present a similar type of blow, and they tried, and they did. They were kind of in
They were
control.
close. They were right there. They were winning going into the fourth quarter.
Like Indy was hitting everything, and OKC was still maintaining this lead, and then up until the point where I'm kind of watching that in that fourth quarter, and you're sitting there courtside, so you'll have a much better vantage point, but it's kind of like, well, wait a second. Indy has no interest in all of this, all of the stuff that I've been saying, that you've been saying. Like, they really think that they can win, and OKC can tell by the way that they're. So it's like I am acknowledging now the possibility that Indy actually does win the whole series, even if I wouldn't pick it yet.
Halliburton gave us a really interesting anecdote today when we spoke to him. And that was, I think Mike asked the question, when did you guys actually believe?
Mike Breen.
Correct.
Okay, not me. Yeah.
No, yes, not you. Believe that you could actually win the title. And he actually said, if I had to look at an inflection point, it was during the in-season tournament. He goes, we stunk early in the season. We finished like last in our bracket or whatever. And we had like a full week to actually break down film and practice and say, this is what we're doing wrong. And really, that was when we started to kind of turn a corner. And then, everyone talks about whatever, late December or January 1st or whatever. But he actually attributes the in-season tournament layoff for them as a moment where they felt like they could kind of move forward and really change the direction.
I'm the biggest NBA Cup guy there is, George. And the last two teams to face that disappointment in the final of the real tournament with stakes, OKC this year, Indiana last year.
Indiana lost to the Lakers, didn't they, 2 years ago in the in-season
to the Lakers?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mike, I have to tell you though, and this is a little embarrassing for me. I picked Indiana to win at the beginning. Okay,
genius.
And I told you why I picked them to win. But this is a little embarrassing. I come on yesterday with George. George stopped by the show yesterday. This is about 3:30 in the afternoon. So I say, George, you're not going to believe this. I said, but my handicapper that I follow who kind of looks at injuries for players, he noticed that Halliburton had a little bit of a limp to him and noticed that after his press conference after Game 2, he limped away from the podium and he had this tape on the back of his leg, and he thinks he's got some sort of like Achilles tendonitis. And George said, George, check me on this, but you were like, yeah, I did notice, he wasn't as aggressive, maybe a little bit of a limp to him, whatever. And so I actually, last night, went against Halliburton and Indiana. I actually bet on Oklahoma City. Okay. So don't I feel like a big dope for actually picking Indiana and then betting against them in Game 3. And it's a lesson in this. If you ever bet on any games, not you two guys, but anybody else. If you ever bet on games, here's what I tell people. Bet on what you believe. Okay, because if you believe in something, you're going to root a certain way. Like I was rooting for Indiana, and yet I found myself rooting for Oklahoma City last night just to win the bet. And I didn't like doing that. So I will never. If I believe that these guys are all about heart and guts and balls and everything else, then I should stick with them. And I made a terrible mistake last night by going against Halliburton and going against Indiana. So don't I feel like a big jerk?
Well, look, we can talk more about the series a little later. I do want to get to what Magic Johnson said about Luka Doncic and the Lakers on First Take this morning. We'll do that next. But first, let me tell you about my friend Jacob and Ronnie. First, you get into an accident. You call Jacob, 844-24-JACOB. Tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 sent you. But here's the deal. I was stuck in traffic the other day, classic L.A., and right in front of me was a bright yellow billboard from Jacob and Ronnie that said, "Smile, it's free." It was such a simple message, but in that moment, I needed it. And that's exactly what Jacob does. Even before you call him, he's thinking about you. If you're injured in an accident, you're stressed, you're in pain, maybe you feel overwhelmed, Jacob is the kind of attorney who will help take that weight off your shoulders. From helping you, getting you the medical care, to dealing with the insurance company and the insurance adjusters, to making sure your case is handled the right way. Jacob's got you. So that's why you get into an accident, you call him at 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 sent you. He's been doing this for nearly 30 years. He's been respected by his peers and feared by the insurance companies, okay? So when you call an attorney, you want one who's respected. So call Jacob because he's the real deal. And call him at 844-24-JACOB, 844-24-JACOB, or visit him online at calljacob.com. Jacob, a proud partner of the Rams, Lakers, and LAFC. LAFC. And make sure you follow Call Jacob on Instagram and Facebook for prizes, insight, and more.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco.
Live from LA Live. Back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Hit the dad rock button, Jorge.
GNR's not dad rock. Now you're comparing Guns N' Roses to dad rock?
I want my voice to sound like that for like a segment.
Can you sing at all?
I can do that.
Pretty good. That's what that sounded like.
I'm
Creed.
sorry. See, I don't want to dump on
How
your song.
dare you?
I love that
like
song
Creed.
too. I got you.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
On 710 ESPN.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Take me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway. It's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
And it is Sedano and Kap, your Thursday afternoon. On this day back in 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found dead in the Brentwood condo of Nicole Brown. The reason we mention that, it's not a nice thing, but of course, it would begin the saga of the O.J. Simpson trial, which has been referenced quite a bit on this show over the years. That's why we mention it. And on this day in 1990, Mariah Carey's self-titled debut album was released. Early Mariah. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Oh, there we go.
You know, Chris just mentioned the beginning of the O.J. saga this day, 1994.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I'm sure everybody has that, I know where I was when I saw the chase. And that today wasn't the chase day, but as I recall, I think it might be tomorrow might be that anniversary. Nonetheless, it does kind of come up every year, George, in the NBA Finals. Like, the NBA Finals were interrupted at that moment for the whole country, which was sitting on the edge of its seat, trying to figure out what was going on. And so we get to this time of the year.
June 17th was the actual day of the chase.
Okay, so today's June 12th, and he said today was the day that, the crime was...
the crime was committed.
Right, exactly. Yes. So there you go. All right. So you said you wanted to bring up this magic soundbite, which I'm curious.
I didn't watch this. All I saw was the clip. So I didn't watch First Take. I've been a little busy.
We have a lot of meetings, remember.
Yeah. There's been a lot of meetings.
By the way, I like that you're sleeping on the bed to your left over your right shoulder, but the other bed over your left shoulder still made. Very nice and clean. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm in your hotel room.
The other one is partially made. It's just that I folded down the.
Yeah, I appreciate you making it just a little bit, just for the rest of us. We don't need to see your bed unmade.
No, what I like about it is that George made sure to reject the upgraded room with the king, just in case Cappy, his partner, wanted to join him.
Very sweet
in Indiana and support the team that he picked.
Mike, you're so right. I said to George, I go 2 queens, really? And he actually gave me this bogus excuse about him showing up to the hotel late and them not having any king-size beds available.
Richard Jefferson actually ended up in the same scenario.
And I said, no, maybe you're saving a bed for me in case I want to come out.
We're all roughly the same size. You guys are probably have an inch or two in height on me, and weight-wise, I don't know, probably somewhere close. But I don't see any advantage to having a king versus a queen if it's just me. Now, sure, like if my wife is with me,
you're so right.
I just think there's a different level of space in the room if there's a king versus a queen. You have more space to move to
versus
move
the 2 queens. You mean?
Correct. Yes.
I know, but what do you? So, and again, as somebody who spends 80, 90 nights a year in a hotel, the only time that I ever consider having a little bit more space in the room is if like the room is a little smaller and I'm getting a massage or something in the room, and they got to bring the table in.
Well,
That's about the only time.
But I mean, when you're on a long road trip and you've packed for 10 days, let's say you're on a 10-day roadie, right? You got a lot more luggage on those trips, I would imagine, than you would in a regular, quick little trip, to.
I mean, George, I like to stay nice and tight though, man, because I'm not trying to lug that around city to city. Right. So. I go for I got the multiple suits, obviously, but
I am genuinely the same. But I could be potentially on the road for 18 days here.
Yeah. Mike, I hear you and I are both unpackers. Like, I will get to a hotel room, I will unpack immediately. I will hang every shirt up. I will hang every jacket up. I will use the drawer for my socks and my underpants and the whole thing. I will unpack.
It depends on how many days. Like, I rarely unpack other than the things that I'm going to hang up, right? So, like, my suits come out right away. Those get hung up. Maybe if I have a jacket or something. Most of this other stuff I leave in the suitcase, but Michael Thompson freaks out if I even hint at taking anything out of my bag and putting it in a drawer, which he insists are the dirtiest things and have all of these germs. And so that's the argument that's where it really comes up, because Michael is, as we know, a complete freak when it comes to any potential germ.
All right, George, get us back on track here. We were going to listen to this Magic Johnson sound.
Magic was on First Take. I missed it this morning, but apparently he discussed, he was asked about Luka. And this upcoming season, they were talking about Luka, being skinny Luka. And here's what Magic had to say
just
about
squatting
Luka.
thousands of pounds.
Well, first of all, great job by Coach J.J. Redick to put everybody on notice on the Lakers team that they have to be in better conditioning for them to win an NBA championship. And I'm glad that Luka listened to J.J. And now look at him. I mean, he looks great right now. And the rest of the Lakers have to do the same thing, right? And Luka, it's great what you did in Dallas. But the difference is in Los Angeles, we expect championships. And we expect our superstars to lead us to a championship. LeBron has already did that. Now we want Luka to do the same thing. But it's going to take more than just Luka, right? It's going to take more than just Luka being in shape. Rob Pelinka got to improve the roster, right? And so we need a big man. And so hopefully we'll be able to get a big man during this offseason. I think we must improve the bench as well. And so Rob will have a chance to do that as well. So we got to get faster, Jay. Right now, the Lakers are too slow. And Minnesota really exposed the Lakers, right? And so when they had individual matchups, they went at Luka and they went at Austin Reeves. So they must improve the defense. If they don't improve the defense, there's no way the Lakers can win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I interpret that is, for me, and I'd be curious to see how you guys feel, is particularly from the Luka perspective, okay? I feel like the Luka honeymoon is going to be very short if it's not already over in Los Angeles. Like, the way things ended, no one expected a first-round exit, and I think the pressure is on Doncic and this team to at least go deep into the playoffs next year. If not, I mean, championship is always the expectation, I believe, especially when you have players of that caliber and LeBron on your team. So I think the honeymoon is kind of over for Luka Doncic.
Here's my interpretation. Magic just said the Lakers are fat, old, slow, and their general manager better get him a better roster. I mean, now, again, you said our interpretations might be different. I hear things differently than you hear things.
Yes, clearly.
Certainly. But think about that. You know, hey, look, everybody got to get in better shape. Luka's already heard that. Okay, check that box, okay? Slow. He kind of sounds like he's calling out Austin Reeves. I mean, at least that's just the way I heard it, okay? And then lastly, and maybe most importantly, he really calls out Rob Pelinka. You know, if you don't improve the bench, if you don't get a big man, which, by the way, I would say to Magic, not a big man, I would say 2 big men, everybody is on alert right now. You got to get in better shape. You got to work on speed because you saw the younger teams, more explosive teams go blowing by you, and we're watching what Oklahoma City and Indiana are right now, and he's putting it right back on Rob Pelinka. Hey, you got that new fat contract, buddy. You better build a roster because having 1 or 2 or 3 guys that are really, really good in this league, now looking at these 2 teams, you need 9 or 10 guys. Mike, what's your interpretation?
Wait, actually, you know what, Mike? Let's actually break on time for once.
Okay, let's do that.
That way we can get Mike's thoughts on this on the other side. And for people who missed it, maybe we can replay the Magic stuff, the minute version of it or whatever. But let's do that. Mike, save it for the other side. And unlike Cappy, I know you'll actually remember what you wanted to say on the other side.
Now I don't have to even remember. I already said it.
Cappy, what are we talking about again?
Forget it. I'm going to write it down.
Cappy, let's talk Prize Picks. First of all, if you're in the state of California, you want sports action, the place to be is Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Cappy, K-A-P-P-Y. First $5 play gets you a $50 bonus. Look, man, this is very simple how you play Prize Picks. It's more or less. There's a stat line for every individual player in every sport imaginable, basically, and you go more or less on that stat line. You bundle a couple together, and you can win some cold, hard cash.
You can, unless you make dumb decisions like I did last night. Correct. You know, they gave you, this was for yesterday, Prize Picks gave you a free square. They gave you Jalen Williams for half a point. So he scored 26 points. That was a no-brainer. I put him together with Tyrese Halliburton, and because I thought Halliburton might be Halliburton just a little bit, that did not play out for me. Thank you very much. That came right off the top of my head. It was 31 points, rebounds, and assists, and I played less, and he had 42 points, rebounds, and assists. So had I played Tyrese Halliburton the way my heart told me to play it,
right,
I would have won. I would have gone 2 for 2. Now, today, George, listen, this is really important.
Okay.
There's a 25% payout boost today. Okay. And that means that when you open the Prize Picks app, you download it, you use our code Cappy, K-A-P-P-Y, you make a $5 play, you get a $50 bonus. When you opt in to the 25% boost, when you win, and I hope you do, you're going to get 25% more today.
Wow.
How about that?
That's huge, Cappy. So Prize Picks, download the app, use the promo code Cappy, K-A-P-P-Y. Prize Picks, run your game.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Los Angeles International Airport's People Mover trains begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investments to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, and Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less, and trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
Hey guys, you feel it? The days are getting longer. The sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is here. And you know here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams, one thing really ties it all together. Enjoying an icy cold Coors Light with great friends. Pick up icy cold Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly and cheers with icy cold Coors Light.
Pacific Palms Resort, LA's Hilltop Hideaway and #1 work and play resort, provides opportunities for all travelers and locals. Enjoy restful accommodation, dine in the Red Restaurant with an expansive outside patio, or pamper yourself and relax at the spa. Hit the links at one of their 2 championship courses, the Babe and the Ike. Pacific Palms Resort is the perfect choice for a Los Angeles venue for your business meetings, weddings, and big events. Enjoy a beautiful staycation or family holiday at their Hilltop property. Book your stay at LA's #1 work and play resort today at PacificPalmsResort.com.
Hey, baseball fans, ready to swing for the fences? It's ESPN LA's Legends Launch, presented by our friends at Legends Attic. Part of All-Star Friday night, step up to the plate and take your shot at launching as many baseballs as you can into the home run zone. Spots are limited, so grab your bat and go to ESPNLA.com right now to sign up. Bring the heat and showcase your legendary swing at our All-Star Friday night event on July 11th at West Covina Sportsplex. Reserve your spot now thanks to Legends Attic, the ultimate sports fans' dream destination.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, just 90 minutes from wherever you are. Take it away, Linz.
Thanks, Sedano. All right, so the Recording Academy has added 2 new Grammy categories and updated eligibility requirements for some others. Not that those ones matter, but they've added Best Traditional Country Album and Best Album Cover. And I find that pretty interesting because, back in my day, we often bought
tell them, old lady,
CDs,
tell them.
You can't wait to see the album cover. You can't wait to pull out the little leaflet and look at everything on there. So I want to ask you guys, what's your favorite album cover ever?
Cappy liked the Nirvana with the little baby.
You're right.
No. That is not even close to my favorite.
Okay.
But that's a pretty good one, though, Mike. It's not bad. My favorite album cover ever was a Kiss album. Do you guys remember when Kiss did solo albums?
No.
And so they broke up, all 4 guys. You had Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. And Peter Criss, his album was just a head cover, but he had this green tint behind him. And I don't know why. I loved all of the Kiss albums.
Is this when they took off the makeup?
No, they still had the makeup on. Funchy, you can pull this up. Everybody in our social team could pull this up as well. They had the makeup on, but they all did a solo album.
What was it called?
Well, it was just Peter Criss. I don't know what it was called. It was just Peter Criss solo album, Kiss. And he had this green tint behind him. And I loved it. And I actually loved all the Kiss albums, like Love Gun. Because they were characters. They weren't real people, So I was more of a fan of the Kiss album covers. How about you, Mike? Did you like that Nirvana one?
No, I mean, that one was iconic, certainly. I think, so the first album that I actually bought, the first tape cassette, was Green Day Dookie. And
wow.
That's a great one.
Which is cool with it's got the the explosion in the middle, and then all of the art around it, and it says Green Day coming out of the explosion, the big block letters. So that was cool. And then I always just in terms of what I thought was cool when I was in 8th grade, the Enter the Wu-Tang album cover, where it's just all of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan, then the big W in the corner, and up in the upper the upper right hand corner says Enter the Wu. And there's just something cool about the whole vibe of the Wu-Tang Clan. Obviously, the W is continued. You can raise it wherever. So those are the 2 that I think stand out for me.
One just came to mind. One of my favorite albums of all time. One of my favorite bands of all time, the Black Crowes. They had an album called Amorica, and the album cover was provocative. But today, I don't think you could put that album cover out on the streets the way it was, like a bikini bottom of a lady. And it was an American flag, and
wait, what's the band? Black Crowes.
The Black Crowes. It's called Amorica, but I'm just going to tell you right now, you can't put that on screen because, again, it was, I thought, tastefully done, but some people might think a little inappropriate. But it was one of my favorite albums because the music was so incredible. There were 10 bangers on that album. But the album cover itself was an attention getter.
It's very on brand for you, Cappy.
Yep. If you walked into a record store back then, yeah.
This one for me is easy. It's the Purple Rain album cover.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a
Very
good
good
one. I have that shirt.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's dressed, the motorcycle, just the smoke and like the steamy smoke out of the manholes in the city and all that stuff. I like that one.
Just looking at it right now. Yeah,
My favorite is Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah,
Dark Side of the Moon's a good one.
Certainly fair. So a couple. I mean, I think. Abbey Road is obviously a classic. Just thinking about what the Beatles became, especially Biggie, Ready to Die, when it's like
How about Doggy Style?
little Christopher Wallace just sitting in the middle, and everything else is white, and it says Ready to Die underneath.
Doggy Style is a good one.
Yeah, how about Doggy Style?
Certainly Doggy Style. Yeah, I mean, like the original, like the NWA cover with
Should be
everybody.
a
I got
drop,
one
by
for
the
you,
way.
Trudell. The ODB album cover.
Yeah, or
That's a
the
good one.
Return
Real
to the
good one.
36 Chambers.
No, it's the one where he has his food stamp card.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
his ID.
that's Return to the 36
Yeah.
Chambers. Yeah. That one's great. Okay, yeah, good topic. Album covers. No, it is, I'm glad they're bringing it back, and hopefully this. I mean, because look, I could spend another probably hour on album covers. Yeah.
So, quick question for you guys. I have to make a dinner decision here soon because I'm kind of starving. And,
Okay,
and
let me
room
hear
service
let me hear
is
what you're
the way to go.
considering. Let me hear.
So,
So
I'm
I don't get to
considering.
answer my Lakers. So, okay, that's fine.
You will in a second.
That's fine.
A Wagyu burger.
Okay,
with
sounds
fries.
good. Okay.
Mm.
By
Is
the
it
way,
Wagyu or Wagyu?
by the way, quick timeout, which is this:
I don't know actually.
the burger at Islands yesterday, the turkey burger out of this world. The turkey burger was amazing, but I only had a few bites of it. So the young lady, Rachel Nelson, who's the regional manager, sent me home with a big old fat burger. Oh, my God. Terrific burger. Great burger, Islands.
Awesome. So short rib tacos are on the menu
Oh,
potentially.
Sound good.
I
Sound
get
good.
those.
I like the
there's a
Wagyu burger.
Southwest chicken sandwich.
Okay, that also
I can go
sounds
very
pretty
simple
good.
and just go club sandwich.
Club sandwich is good at a hotel. You got to put a
There's
milkshake with that.
There's a salmon, but I already had fish yesterday.
Okay. Oh, you had fish at the
You
steakhouse?
can't have fish 2 days in a row.
I did because I had way too much steak already. is
Yeah,
what
I
was
understand.
saying.
When you're putting down all that red meat. Yep, keep going.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't go wrong with the burger.
Right, but he's been eating a lot of red meat, this kid.
No, but I went fish yesterday to kind of
break it up.
a little bit.
Okay, all right.
balance it
What
out.
fish did you have?
A little ahi tuna.
Okay, so if you had ahi tuna yesterday, salmon actually works because they come from different bodies of water.
Yeah.
No, that's true, right? I mean, seriously, like a salmon is
But
a
it's
freshwater
lemon
fish.
pepper salmon, and
Oh,
I
that
just
sounds
don't know.
delicious.
I
That does
love
sound
lemon
good.
pepper, but I just feel like on salmon is probably.
Ooh,
I
Oh, you
don't
prefer it on your
I
wings?
could use some lemon pepper wings right now.
I often
Yeah.
use lemon
They
pepper.
They do have
Pepper.
wings. They do have
Okay.
wings.
Ask them to throw the lemon pepper on the wings, bro.
Yeah, honestly. Well, tossed in buffalo sauce, barbecue Asian, or Cajun rubbed. is
I
what it
prefer the
says on
buffalo in
wings.
that case.
No big dinner tonight? No big production dinner tonight with
Well,
the
I'm
producers?
here with you guys.
Oh, so you can't go out with these
You had,
guys?
you
Yeah,
had to
it's
turn
7
them
o'clock.
down.
I'm here.
Oh,
Just
shame.
have Breen come in the room. He'll
Yeah,
pop
why
on.
don't you get Mike to come in the room? Mike can
No,
sit on the
I'm
bed
gonna go
behind
for
you.
his meal.
I'm going out with your boy PB today, Trudeau.
Oh, okay.
Afterwards.
Oh, we'll find
Who's
us find
PB?
some
Peanut butter?
Yeah.
a very very important person at the NBA. George, let me know how that goes.
PB,
Say
huh?
what's up to him.
I will.
Yeah, tell PB I said what's up.
Along with pizza cone.
So what do I do? Burger? What do you think? Burger?
Burger does sound good in that hotel. I mean, the Wagyu burger, that does sound nice.
I would go the what did you
Short
say?
rib?
Short rib tacos.
Short rib tacos also sound good, I must admit.
But
Those
will it
do
fill
sound
you
good.
up, though? That's
They
the
also have
only
a
thing.
short rib grilled cheese, apparently.
Oh, I go that.
Oh.
Do that.
Nah,
Too
that's
heavy.
no, don't
Cheese
do
is
that. That's
terrible.
bad for you, and here's why.
That's a lot.
Because
cheese.
what they'll do is they'll butter the bread, they'll
Yeah,
grill
that's
the
too
bread,
much, yeah,
and
yeah.
it'll just no. Don't get me wrong, it'll be bomb. It will be bomb.
But it's too much crap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote the short rib tacos. Who's
Okay.
Michael? What are you voting on?
Don't care.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thanks for playing along.
Can you pretend to care?
No, I'm
Thanks
just kidding.
for playing
Vote. I'm going with the
Who are you,
Wagyu
Beto?
burger.
He's going the burger. He's
All
going
right,
burger.
DeAndre?
Burger. Can't go
Burger
wrong
for
with burger.
DeAndre.
Lindsay, short rib tacos?
Yep.
Okay,
Funchy, that's it. It's down to those
tiebreaker.
two.
Funch.
Real cheese. Probably with a
That's not
salad.
an option.
A salad with instead of a fries.
It's not
All right,
an
you know what,
option.
George? George, here's the deal. Here's what I want you to do. Do this for me. You ready?
Get both?
Put
I
up
want
a
you to get
poll.
both. No, I want you to get both, and then I want you to show me both of them. Okay?
Okay, I'll do that. I'll order
okay,
both.
get the burger and the tacos.
And I can always eat some later. if I
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you
All
got a
right.
fridge.
Wow,
You're making me
splurge in
hungry
there.
now. Damn.
I know, I'm hungry.
All right, Michael, tell us about your thoughts on Magic Johnson and what he said about Luka Doncic. He says, this isn't Dallas. We expect championships.
You want to replay it? You want to reset it?
How about can we just do the short version of it, okay? Let's just play it, and I'll tell you when to stop. Just listen for me. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, great job by Coach J.J. Redick to put everybody on notice on the Lakers team that they have to be in better conditioning for them to win an NBA championship. And I'm glad that Luka listened to JJ. And now look at him. I mean, he looks great right now. And the rest of the Lakers have to do the same thing, right? And Luka, it's great what you did in Dallas. But the difference is in Los Angeles, we expect championships. And we expect our superstars to lead us to a championship. LeBron has already did that. Now we want Luka to do the same thing. But it's going to take more than just Luka, right? It's going to take more than just Luka being in shape. Rob Pelinka got to improve the roster, right? And so we need a big man. And so hopefully we'll be able to get a big man during this offseason. I think we must improve the bench as well. And so Rob will have a chance to do that as well. So we got to get faster, Jay. Right now, the Lakers are too slow. And Minnesota really exposed the Lakers, right? And so when they had individual matchups, they went at Luka and they went at Austin Reeves. So they must improve the defense. If they don't improve the defense, there's no way the Lakers can win a championship.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got the extended full version. All right, Michael. George gave you his interpretation. I gave you my interpretation. My interpretation was that Magic just called everybody fat, slow, and old. What do you think?
So Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick, right, had their end-of-season press conference, and I think that
Rob Pelinka W.
They really hit on all of these points. Love Magic. I thought a lot of that was a pretty good summary, but the expectation of a championship is always there. They've said that. Luka, that's all that he wants. So I think everything is in alignment there. There's no worry to me. Nobody got called out. There's nothing like that they don't know. I too have been enjoying the Luka posts about, like, most recently the lifting, somewhere between like 700 and 1,000 pounds in the squats. And I think that the biggest way that the Lakers can improve for next season is just to have Luka take a little jump back to what he was in his last full year in Dallas, which was 34 points per game, 10 assists, and about 9 rebounds. Now, he played a couple fewer minutes in this season as he was kind of being held on the minutes restriction, guys, when he came back from the calf injury, which of course kept him out for a lot of the time when he was traded, right? He was injured. And I think that when Luka does not have to prove what he is as an NBA player. Like, he was third in MVP that year. He was 8th the previous year. He was 5th the previous year, 6th and 4th. All NBA first team most of those years. Like, he's put it down on wax before. Like, this is what he does. He is great at basketball. He's going to come in super motivated and in good shape. So that, to me, is a great starting point for as you're moving forward, building the roster around him, which we all agree, more athletes, some bigs. Cappy, you want 2. I do as well. So this is just I'm struggling to see anything but kind of excitement about the Luka Doncic era moving forward. And, George, I don't remember the phrase that you used, but I think you said something like the honeymoon period with him is over. I don't feel that yet. If they go year after year and they're not winning, of course, like, that's the expectation, but I still think there's a lot of excitement that Luka Doncic is in purple and gold for the foreseeable future. And
so you don't believe the honeymoon is over?
No, I don't. I think that Laker fans are still extremely excited and pumped up, as we just saw with Don Nelson in the press conference about like how Luka Doncic is a Laker. I still think that excitement is there.
Okay, that's fair. And what I would say is, when does that – because, look, I think those things dissipate a lot faster than they used to, right? Because of the way the world that we live in, right? Everything is instantaneous and instant gratification. Mm-hmm. So does it last one more year? Like, what does that potentially look like? What kind of patience does this fan base have?
Well, I think it's you could the most recent one, of course, was LeBron coming to the Lakers as a free agent, and there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of excitement when that happened, and then but it certainly is now. And I'm sure Magic said the same thing, and he was right when he said it. Okay, LeBron, you're here now, but you didn't win the first year. The expectation is you win. And then, of course, they eventually win a couple of years after that. So I just don't think that is it's a solely Luka Doncic thing there. I think the excitement that the Lakers have him, they have their star. The hardest thing to get in the NBA is somebody of that caliber, a top 5 guy that's a shot creator. They've got that. Now, can they, as Magic said, can they make the right acquisitions to build a team around him to eventually get to a title? Yes. We'll see. The yes part is that Luka is in purple and gold, and that to me, like, the pressure goes along with it. But it's not like if they don't win next year, it's like maybe they should dump Luka, right? Like
No. I definitely don't believe that's the case. But what I mean by the honeymoon being over is that the expectation is if you have one of those guys, you got to
compete for a title.
The guy that helped delivers the championship, right?
Yeah, of course. There's no Lakers star ever right now that has not won a title. That has been like that's the thing. If you look up in the retired jerseys, every single one of those guys managed to win at least one championship. That is the expectation. Luka has said that. J.J. Redick has said that. Rob Pelinka, of course, that's always the expectation of Jeannie Busk, which she got from her father. So I think that is the goal, no doubt about it, George. And that pressure is always there, and that's part of what I think is great about being a Laker fan or being a part of that organization is that they do have that high standard, and nothing else is acceptable, for sure.
All right, George, let's break on time, like you said earlier, but I'm going to ask you 2 questions about the honeymoon being over when we come back. In fact, I'm writing down so I don't forget.
Oh,
right
okay,
now.
I love it.
Yeah,
And can Mike answer too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, great. Let's do that next.
ESPN LA is black and gold. Follow LAFC on the quest for trophies all season long. Every match, every pass, every goal.
Oh, Olivier! He drops to his knees and implores the heavens.
The home of LAFC is 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Do you really think you've experienced real sports excitement in your home? It's Mace here, and I'm here to tell you to get off your couch and get into Cosm. Cosm is the ultimate immersive fan experience. The Dome at Cosm, massive 87-foot wraparound display with reserved booth-style seating. The Cosm Hall features wall-to-wall screens where you can watch multiple games at the same time. Incredible food, craft cocktails, beer available throughout Cosm. Go to Cosm.com to see all the sporting events coming up, and now showing The Matrix at Cosm.com.
Cappy here to tell you about my great friends at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. I'm a huge fan for so many reasons. The safety, technology, versatility, reliability, and they're all about the Subaru Love Promise. The cars are spacious and sporty. You got to go see my boy Omar and his team at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. They're focused on your needs, and they're the most knowledgeable people when it comes to getting you into the right Subaru. Ocean Subaru, 1100 South Euclid in Fullerton, just off the 91 freeway. Go to OceanSubaruOC.com. That's OceanSubaruOC.com. Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, where every journey starts with love.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ, that's JOEQ, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
And it is Sedano and Kap here Thursday afternoon. On this day back in 1972, fast food chain Popeyes was founded in Louisiana. And on this day, back in 2018, the #1 hit Post Malone featuring Ty Dolla $ign, Psycho. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Oh, yeah. What do you think, Cappy?
Well, I can see Lindsay and I are both feeling it. You know, the two of us.
I thought you'd be going, yeah.
Well, I'm just, you know what? I'm feeling it. So the hands are up in the air. I'm bouncing up and
Post
down.
Malone's kind of your guy with Ty Dolla $ign.
I like Post Malone. I will say, and for those of you that this insults and really hurts your feelings, please excuse me. I get a little freaked out with people who have tattoos all over their faces. I can't help it.
I got you.
I can't help it.
Lindsay, real quick, while Cappy asks me this question, call Ramona real quick because she has a Indianapolis conundrum that I told her to call on the air to discuss because she texted me about it.
Gotcha.
So get Ramona real quick. But, Cappy, ask your questions. Go.
So here's the thing. You said the honeymoon period is over for Luka and his joining the Lakers. Mike disagrees. He says there's a little more time for the honeymoon.
I didn't say it's definitely over, but I think Mike made really good points. What I would say is I feel like people are less willing to be patient in 2025 than ever, is what I would say.
So I guess my questions were going to be twofold. Because Magic then said that he needs, the roster has to be built in a way that it can be faster, it can be better defensively, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, look at the teams that are competing right now. They can get up and down for sure.
I guess my two-part question would go like this for both of you ball knowers. If the honeymoon is over, and let's just play with the phrase for a second.
For argument's sake, right?
For who? Okay, so and that's the first part. Who is the honeymoon over for? And then the second part of the question is, how long will it take for the Lakers to do what Magic said, which is build the roster to be a championship contender? How long will that take, or how long are you expected to take?
Well, I mean, I think it has to begin this season. Like they have limited assets to do that. But I think you have to see a transformation this year because you cannot waste the last year that many people presume could be the last year of LeBron James as a partner, as a 1B to Luka Doncic being the 1A. Like, I don't think you should waste that opportunity. And, Austin will be on the roster for at least one more year in my assumption. So, yeah, I think you have to do that. Now, Michael, how do you see that?
Well, Cappy, just in the back of your head, I do have a face tattoo follow-up for you, but we'll shelve that for now.
Okay, shelve it. Write it down, though, so you don't forget it.
Yeah, shelve it. Go ahead.
Now, as for this part, I see this a bit like George just said, but almost in two parts. So part A is LeBron, and whether it's his final season or not, but just basically how do you maximize a roster around LeBron and Luka? And, of course, Austin Reeves would be the third guy right with that. And what kind of players do you have to put around them after what we've seen in the NBA playoffs this year, what we've seen from not just to Minnesota but to that next level, Indiana and OKC, with all the athleticism and the youth and the size and all that. So that's one. And then what resources do you want to use thinking about future first-round picks, right? Young guys like who – the Dalton Connect, for example, was in the deal that happened with Mark Williams, and then that deal ends up not going through. Like, what assets do you want to use for this roster for this year with LeBron and versus the long-term build around Luka Doncic specifically?
That's why I asked how long it would take.
Okay,
and those are two different questions to me. That's where it is. I do think that's tricky, right, to figure out exactly what the balance is there.
It is a needle they have to thread. Now let's bring in Ramona because she has an Indianapolis question. But before that, Cappy, ask her the question that you asked me and Michael just a moment ago.
Ramona, Magic Johnson, good to talk to you, first of all. Magic Johnson was saying that, expectations are championship and that Rob Pelinka's got to build the roster around it. So George was saying honeymoon, maybe people are going to get impatient. So if the honeymoon is over for the Luka, trade.
For argument's sake.
Right. Yes. Who is it over for, and how long does it take to rebuild the roster to make it championship competitive? That was a two-part question. What do you think?
Okay. So I'm going to do this thing that they teach us actually, this is the advice I give to people when they're doing interviews, which is just answer the question that you want to answer and not necessarily even what you asked me.
Classic Homo.
Because to me, the biggest development of the Lakers offseason is how much weight Luka Doncic has lost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Have you seen this man?
That's where this all started, because Magic said that Luka heard JJ and said, hey, I got to get myself into real shape, and everybody else on the roster needs to do the same thing, because he essentially said they're slow and they're not good on defense.
You guys, this is everything. There was this one summer. Do you guys remember when Nikola Jokic was kind of like used to get back injuries and hamstring things because he was a little overweight too.
And then he trimmed down.
And he went, and it was the COVID summer, was like, I don't know if it was summer. It was just the COVID year or whatever. And there was this photo of him in Serbia, and we were like, "What? I'm sorry, who is that again? Is that Jokic?" Like, he looked like Djokovic, right? The tennis player. Like, he looked like he had lost like half his body weight. And it turns out that he had decided, okay, it's time for me to get in shape. They had lost a 7-game series to Portland. He tired out the 7th game, and he said, I'm never going to let that happen again. He committed himself to fitness, and it was real. And he came back with, like, abs, right? Like, and I've always said, whenever Luka gets that moment where it comes from within and not just because people fat shamed him or whatever it is, like, then that's when it's going to be real. And I can't wait to see what he looks like on the court next year.
Okay, real quick follow-up because I want to hear about what your problems in Indianapolis. How long, because Magic says they got to build a roster, how long does it take? Is it can they do it from last year to this year and be competitive against a team like Oklahoma City or Minnesota for that matter? Or is this now no, it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years? Because I don't think anybody's got the patience for that.
No, I think they can do it next year. I think it's just it's always a matter of health with them, right? Like, LeBron's older, old, whatever you want to say. He had a remarkably healthy year, I think, for him. So does he come back? If this is his last year, I don't know if it is. He might go 2 years, but you have to kind of think this probably is the last year, depending on his contract. Yeah. So if he can stay healthy, I think they really need a training camp together. They need a whole year together to figure out how to play. Mm-hmm. And I what I'm going to be watching is to see how they going to continue to try to build the team with LeBron and Luka as 1A and B, or are they going to shift things into this is Luka Doncic's team? Everything will be built for and around Luka, and LeBron will just fit in where he gets in. I mean,
and I think it'll be the latter. Is
that going to be a shift?
Yeah,
you do.
I think it'll be the latter on that. But now let's get to the thing you really text me about.
Yeah, what's the issue, Ramona? What's going on? What can we help you with?
She's in Indianapolis, and I kind of saw Momo briefly in between players coming into our room today. She was out there in the hallway, and you have texted me.
Was I skulking? Was that the right word? It was like I knew Tyrese Halliburton was in there, and I had to ask him 30 seconds of a question, so I was waiting for him.
It was very smart to wait for him to finish with us because he had to go and walk somewhere else, and that was brilliant, I thought.
Yeah, and by the way, this is the biggest news of the day. I got to talk to Caitlin Clark today. This is my first meeting. We had a very nice conversation.
Is she playing soon?
Is she? You know what? I think so.
She better hurry up, man.
She gave me one. I think let's look at it this way. I watched her and her team shoot for like an hour after practice today, and she looked totally fine to me. So
okay, good.
She needs to hurry up. The ratings are down. The ticket prices are down. They need her back.
I know.
So let's. The question you asked me is, you've never been to St. Elmo's, and you asked me, is it worth it? And I said to you, it's worth it to go once. It's no longer, I believe, the best steakhouse in Indianapolis, but it is the longest-standing one and the most famous one. So you should go at least once. Now, Cappy and Mike, I'm assuming you've Cappy has never been, but Mike has been, right?
Nope.
Mike, you've been to Elmo's,
been there
right?
At least 8 times.
Right. I've been there a ton.
So
Mike,
what do you say?
Would you say you have to go at least once just to see the vibe? Because there's a vibe in there.
Nope. Tell him, Mike. No. Why?
No. I mean, there's a scene in there. This place is always packed.
It's like there's a cola. Do they have a cherry cola, right?
I will say this: like if you're looking for that type of a scene, and I don't know, Ramona, that you're
I don't know
thirsty
what the
for
scene
that.
is.
Yeah, what is the scene? Define the scene, Mike.
Just like if you're covering the finals in Miami, and everybody's going to go to Prime 112, and so it's just the place you're going to see the most people in your industry that kind of want to be out amongst the other people in the industry.
And be seen, Mike. And be seen.
Yeah,
I mean, people who want to be seen.
So if that's what Ramona's looking for tonight, I would say that's a good place to go. But it's not different from another steakhouse in another city that's good, but it's not going to change your life. Other than everybody talks about the shrimp cocktail and the horseradish, which I hate that. So.
Why is the shrimp cocktail so good? What is it?
It's just the
horseradish. It's look, listen, you eat it, and I had some delivered
the horseradish.
You eat it, you bite it, and you're gonna feel like it burn into your nostrils, right up your sinuses, and it's gonna feel good.
Cappy, how do you think this compares to the horseradish we put on the gefilte fish.
Oh,
we do
we
horseradish.
This is a little less purple, and this is a little more red. This is more of a cocktail sauce meets like the actual super spicy stuff. Ramona, listen, I've never been to St. Elmo's in Indianapolis. Yeah. I've only been to Indianapolis for like a week one time, and I went to Don Shula's Steakhouse. I didn't even know what St. Elmo's was. I got really, really high on like cookies, and that's when I came up with Stable Wars that night. But that aside, Ramona, I've never been. George was twice. Like this week, he was there twice. One day it was
I
takeout.
had one takeout and then once there.
Right, he's there once, and then he takes out once. So Ramona, do me a favor. You ready? This is a personal favor now, not a professional favor. A personal.
Okay.
Go for me, so that you can give me your fair evaluation. George is. Hey, you got to go. Mike is. You don't have to go, but it's a scene. Ramona, I'm curious. I'm interested. So do us a favor. You go, and then let's get your evaluation.
Okay. Yeah, because the truth is, like, I had a very productive day. I was up till 4 a.m. writing last night, and I slept till noon. So I'm basically on Pacific time. Yeah. It's very weird to sleep till noon now that I'm in my 40s. I that never happens.
I mean, I slept till like 10:30 today, so I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, it was really weird. It was very late night. And then I got up and I went to availability, and I finished up my story on Caitlin Clark and Tyrese Halliburton and stuff. And then I had a little tiny bit of time, so I got a hot yoga class in. So I'm feeling like I've eaten very little today except for the smoothie that I currently got. And I have a
give it a shot.
Healthy. So let's go. I mean,
Momo,
I can have some meat tonight.
Momo, dinner date tonight? I mean, anybody professionally?
By the way, that's going to be a drop. I'm going to have some meat tonight.
I did that on purpose because I know.
Momo, anybody that you're going to have dinner with tonight, or you solo?
I think I'm solo. I don't know. I'm trying to get one of the makeup artists to go with me, but
you should go to George's room and eat whichever dish he doesn't finish.
Well, what are you getting, George?
We just had George get 2 dishes.
I'm doing room service because I'm starving.
Let me see what you got, George. Show me the burger. Momo. Show me the burger on YouTube, George.
So all right. The burger's underwhelming looking.
Underwhelming looking.
It is Wagyu.
Let me take a look at it.
That
here.
came pretty quickly, actually.
Okay. Well, George, turn it around. Turn the burger around a little bit. Hold on a second here. Turn that because it's stuck. The fries are stuck on it. You know, you're right. It doesn't. I don't see a lot of color to that burger. No lettuce, no tomato, no pickle.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot on there. No onion. Okay.
And then here's the tacos.
Let me take a look.
The tacos look good.
Cappy, keep in mind sometimes at the hotel,
those do look good.
They put that
yes,
kind of
on
stuff
the side.
on the side. You know,
yep.
Yeah, it's all on the side, Cappy.
Okay,
I got to add it in there.
Okay. All right.
Give me some time.
Hey, by the way, we still haven't talked about what happened at the Skirvin Hotel, you guys.
We haven't. I think we should do a whole podcast on it, Momo.
Okay, all right. I think that
let's do it as the series progresses. Yeah.
Okay.
When they go back there.
Yeah, when we go
well,
back.
Well, especially because I'm not going to be back there, so I'm going to be at a different hotel next time. So,
okay.
He got spooked.
I kind of felt bad about posting that on social media because I was like,
fine.
I don't want to kill their business, but like, that was pretty weird. What were those gloves?
On the contrary,
yeah.
Ramona, Funchy thinks that they're doing it to drum up business because he thinks it's a tourist attraction.
Oh, it definitely is.
See?
I mean, that's why I went over there.
See? So there you go.
All right, Momo, listen to me.
Right,
do me a favor. Text me later. I want to hear about the horseradish. Text me later.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go give it a shot. Okay.
Thank you, girl.
See ya.
Okay. Bye, guys.
I love her.
All right, Cappy. We got Radio Tinder coming up next. Clapper's coming up at 4:45. Trudell's in the house today. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. I'm telling you, you've heard me say it, excited to announce right here a brand new partnership with the nicest dealership in America, hands down, no questions asked. It's Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Listen, we know Cadillac. When was the last time you'd driven one? Well, I actually rented one recently on the road, and it reminded me of my childhood. My dad, I'll never forget, he felt like he had made it in this country when he was able to afford a Cadillac, and I was a little kid. I'd sleep in the back. It was like driving on a cloud. Well, this thing is even better now. You thought it drove great back then in the 80s? Well, I'll tell you what, they drive much nicer 40 years later is what I would say. The new lineup of Cadillac EVs, sedans, and SUVs define luxury at the top of its game, okay? Just like my dad felt that way in the 80s, you can feel the same way. You own a Cadillac, you know you've made it. And you can find them all at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. So go in and say hello to my friend Tony and his incredible team at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And, of course, you can check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
How many of those bothering them? 11% Belgian beers did you take down? Because that's a commitment.
I got through my six-pack.
Oh.
Yeah, I got through my six-pack.
That's a lot of 11% beer.
It's not that bad. Is it really that bad? Maybe I got an issue.
It's Trav and D-Far. Back tomorrow after Clinton and Friends.
On LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. In the market for new flooring? Why pay more at big box stores? At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, every day is a deal, no gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR or visit them online at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Texting enrolls you in a reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Feeling like you've lost a step? You're not alone. After 35, most men start losing free testosterone, the hormone that helps you stay lean, strong, and energized. But now there's a game-changing solution. Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster from the #1 brand in America. Nugenix Total T2 is packed with even more man-boosting power, and it works fast. With a powerful nitric oxide booster, it sends your energy and performance levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours. That's right, just 3 hours to start feeling like your old self again. For a limited time, you can try it for yourself absolutely free. Text now to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC. But that's not all. When you send us a text, we'll also include a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. Feel stronger, leaner, more driven. Text ROCKY to 369-369 now. That's ROCKY to 369-369. Text ROCKY to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
And it is Sedano and Kap here Thursday afternoon. Radio Tinder time, we like to play a TV theme, or how about a movie theme? Since we were talking about producer Lindsay's favorite, James Bond, earlier this week, how about on this day in 1967? You Only Live Twice. The 5th James Bond film starring Sean Connery premiered. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our new sponsor, the Crazy Hernandez Brothers. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR, FLOOR, or go to hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale. Take it away, please, Lindsay.
Thanks, Christopher.
By the way, short rib, way better than the burger.
It certainly looked good. It really looked like well prepared.
The short rib tacos are way.
Look, that's why you had to get both. Give them a shot.
Yeah, you could give Ramona your burger. What's left of it? All right, so Radio Tinder time. A growing number of Florida college students are joining the Reconnect movement, opting for flip phones over smartphones so they can foster in-person connections. So a 22-year-old University of Florida student recently started the Reconnect movement, and it's basically a club that encourages activities like painting and outdoor sports and like debates and stuff to facilitate genuine social interaction without technology. So basically, yeah, trying to get kids out and like face-to-face interaction. What does Chris say? Press the flesh. So if you are currently a college student, would you consider joining the Reconnect movement? Swipe left or swipe right. George, you go first.
Swipe right, for sure. I mean, listen, any city I get to, I literally like to walk around town. Because I need to be outside. I need to be outdoors. I can't be indoors all the time.
Spoken like someone not from Minnesota.
Well, even in Minnesota, I do the skywalks.
No, I'm saying in the winter we're not really thinking about trying to get outside.
No, I get it, but I'm downtown, so I can get the skywalk and I can connect.
For sure.
And at least I get out of my room. You know
Ireland's
what I mean?
the same way.
I don't know.
Yeah. Cappy, I love the spirit behind this idea. Getting young people together, boys talking to girls, boys talking to boys, like actually interacting. Maybe somebody asks somebody out, hey, what are you doing later? All of that stuff I think is great. But would I give up my iPhone? By no means. I would. Now, maybe can I do both? Can I cheat, Lindsay? Can I participate in this? Maybe even get a flip phone, kind of use it as a burner, but then also have my iPhone so that I can still do all my stuff on there?
It's not like they're saying you can't have an iPhone, but like the idea is to like spend a set amount of time without your phone. And
Love
like when
that.
you go to these meetups, you're
you
not
can't
allowed
have
to
your
be.
phone.
Well, you're not supposed to be on your phone. That's the whole
Okay.
point.
Okay.
I mean, obviously it's not like a hard, fast rule.
No, the only caveat, Cappy, to kick this to you, like when I would have my phone and my parents would be coming out and I'd be on it more than not, and they're like, well, what are you doing on there? I'm like, well, a lot of what I'm doing is communicating with my friends. So that's the only thing. It's not like you're just in your phone staring into whatever your favorite game is or something, or
playing
whatever.
Candy Crush.
Yeah, playing Candy Crush or whatever. Like I do think a lot of young people are actually talking to their friends a lot on the phone.
Right.
So that's the part I think we miss sometimes. We're like, oh, you're staring at your phone. What are you doing? You're not interacting.
That's
Sometimes
the point.
you are. But to Lindsay, to your point in the whole question, that doesn't replace actually getting in front of somebody and giving them your full focus.
Yeah, it's like instead of having the phone group chats, you're group chatting in person.
Well, I'm all for that.
For sure.
I really am. I notice like how many young men in particular are caught up in their phone, in their video game systems.
Cappy, how's your son with this?
He's the worst.
Oh, no. I love
I don't know if
Didn't you say he's always playing video games?
Yeah, but, he's got a job now, Got to have a job in the 80s. And brother's got a job. And he goes to work in the morning and comes home at night. And then when he comes home, he's got his own
I'm the only
routine.
one that got that joke.
I know you did, but I'm glad at least you did. Thank you, George. Thank you
I didn't
for
get
that.
it.
Eddie
It's an
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy joke.
Yeah, got to have a job in the 80s.
Straight over my head.
That's okay. But those who are old enough to get it, got it. Bottom line, I just think of flip phones and I think of older men. I was at a dinner not that long ago, and this guy had this flip phone, and I'm like, bro, what the hell? And he's like, man,
smart.
he goes, I can't use an iPhone. I don't tweet. I don't email. I don't do any of that stuff. It's a phone. That's all it is a phone.
Okay.
He's smart. All right, so Funchy has one.
Quick, last one on this. Like some kids sometimes, like when your kid's first phone, I know some parents that won't get their kid the iPhone. They're like, here, you can
Smart.
have the cell phone.
Yeah,
you want to
smart.
call your buddy? Go ahead, but you're not sitting on that thing. So
Yeah.
that kind of works too for the little kids. Go, Funchy.
All right, guys. Joey Chestnut is coming back.
Oh, really?
He's coming back to the hot dog eating contest, according to TMZ. Remember last year he was banned because he had a deal with Impossible Foods.
Right.
So they said, no, you can't come in or whatever. So this year they said that it shouldn't be a problem. And
Get out.
Last year's winner, Patrick Bertoletti, he only ate 58 hot dogs.
Oh, weak sauce.
Yeah, compared to Joey Chestnut doing 62 in 2023. And even last September, remember Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi fought in a one-on-one hot dog
Netflix,
on
right?
Netflix. Yes.
I don't know if I'd call it a fight. It was a food
whatever,
challenge.
whatever.
I don't know if these guys.
Hey,
they weren't on the undercard of the Jake Paul fight.
This is like Larry
shut
Bird
up.
versus Magic, man. Come on, brother. So last year's ESPN's event got lower ratings in 2023, obviously, because Joey Chestnut wasn't there. Now this year he's going to, he moves the needle. So this year he's back. Are you going to be watching it this year? Now that he's back, Cappy.
I will tell you something right now. I always say on the 4th of July I'm going to watch the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championship, and I always get distracted and don't watch it. I'll just be honest about it. You ready? ESPN or not, it's freaking disgusting.
It is gross.
Seeing all those guys stuff their faces with those dogs, and they dip the dog in the water with the bun is all wet and gross. Honestly, it is disgusting.
You're being a hypocrite.
I am?
Yeah. I remember you talking about this a couple of weeks ago when you went to a Laker game or some game at Crypto.com, and you're stuffing dogs in your face.
No,
you
Mike.
What
What I do
the
is
way that you do it.
No,
and
no,
the bun that
I'm
you use
stuffing
for
tacos in my face.
No, Mike. What I do is this, Mike. I take the hot dog bun.
Yeah.
I put it in like the steaming tray or whatever it is. Then I take the chicken fingers and I put the chicken fingers in the hot dog bun. Now the hot dog bun is hot and soft.
And then you stuff it in your mouth.
Yeah, my fat face.
Right.
But it's only like one or two. I'm not doing 62 of them.
I mean, can we say the same to you when you had your 22-inch, Glizzy?
Oh, that was disgusting. Hey, listen. Last week when we split the blue crab hand roll, that was vile, disgusting, and I'm honestly humiliated that we actually did it.
The food was good, right? But not the actual
really good.
act.
Yeah, the food was great. It was the sharing of the hand roll with Chris that made me want to vomit.
Well, I don't cook a lot, but I was experimenting the other night. My wife had some food delivered from one of the grocery stores, and she's got the little wieners and my kids were gonna have hot dogs presumably before practice. We got to have a pre-practice meal and a post-practice meal. And I tried 3 different styles. One, I cut it kind of down the middle, and then kind of open the hot dog and put it on the pan that way. The other one I did, you know how you do the slices where you kind of just cut about halfway in, maybe 10 slices or so, just so that it could get in there. And then the other one I did about half and half. And I did not receive enough feedback from my boys. Apparently they didn't care to know which style was the best. And so I learned nothing throughout this process, but I want you to know that I'm trying to get better at making hot dogs, and I wondered if you guys have a style for it.
That's a great story.
Thank you, Lindsay.
I think the first way of doing it is the best way.
You think
splitting it open, and then just cooking
butterflying.
Yeah, butterflying.
Yeah, the butterfly.
Yeah, you butterfly the dog.
I like that.
So you're pro butterfly.
But then you're grilling it.
Well, I'm doing it stovetop though.
Yeah,
because
but still,
a frying pan.
That's kind of the way they do it at Five Guys.
There's something to me. I don't like hot dogs to begin with. I may have 1 or 2 a year. But if I'm going to have it, I want it grilled. To me, it just the char of the grill makes it taste a little better.
I get that, but
I want it well done.
I don't want to get a grill because then it takes up space in the backyard where the sports stuff is. And
no grill.
What I'm saying? Yeah,
no
so
grill
no
here.
grill.
We're playing catch. We're kicking soccer balls.
Did you
no
notice
grill.
I'll acknowledge that wasn't a great story, but Lindsay said that. But then when I didn't want to participate in what Sedano should eat earlier, she got mad at me on the air. And so then she didn't play up my bit, but got mad at me for not playing George's
Wow,
bit
Lindsay,
earlier.
how do you feel about that?
That was
Mike's
nice.
calling you out.
That was
call,
very
by
nice.
the way. Whoever voted short rib.
I think I voted for short rib.
And Lindsay.
And Lindsay voted for short rib as well.
I voted for the grilled cheese.
That is Radio Tinder. Dr. Clapper is going to join us in just a moment, so make sure you stick around for that. We're going to talk injuries with our guy, Dr. Clapper. By the way, of course, Radio Tinder brought to you by our friends at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR or go to HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net because no sale beats wholesale, homeboy. Dr. Clapper next.
How are you? The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah. Tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes.
LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Mace. In tough times, a lot of people find themselves owing money to the IRS. It can really weigh you down, and you're confused about the right way to handle it. And all those scary ads on the radio about the IRS, they don't help. Tax relief advocates want you to relax, knowing that whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, $500,000 in tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS another day. TRA has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they're experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. Easy to see why they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you owe money to the IRS and feel trapped, don't lose hope. Tax relief advocates could reduce or even eliminate your debt. End your tax nightmare today. Simply visit TRA.com or call 800-575-1482. That's 800-575-1482. Again, 800-575-1482.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
And it is Sedano and Kap. Your Thursday afternoon. Happy Superman Day and happy International Falafel Day. Speaking of superheroes, Superman, not the falafel. Although maybe. On this day in 1997, Batman and Robin, starring George Clooney, premiered. Wasn't a great movie. Did have Jim Carrey as the Riddler and Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, but the soundtrack was absolutely fire. One of the songs on it, yes, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Look into my eyes. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Oh, yeah.
Chris O'Donnell as Robin. It's all right.
I mean, Funchy, did Bone Thugs do this song the other night?
No, they did not. Which I was unhappy about.
Must have been a
probably
big
did like 3 or
disappointment.
4 songs. They didn't do this song at all.
Well, you know who knows about the hip but not the hop is our friend Dr. Clapper, who sent me a beautiful text message last night. And thank you as always, Doc. You know that I love you, and I'm always appreciative of your kind words. But thank you for the note yesterday after the game.
It's my pleasure. You're Craig Sager, and you're getting all the right. It's all about art and science in everything that we do. As a surgeon, I combine art and science. Even Clapper Vision is combining art and science. And when you interviewed Tyrese Halliburton and got into the technical aspects of it, yeah, that's the science of basketball. But then when you asked him about his dad, his whole demeanor changed. And to be able to do that in the same interview, very Craig Sager-like, and it was awesome, George. That's why I texted you.
It was, and we were all so proud, seriously, George, because, when we see you do that, we all look at it and go, that's our guy, and so it's great. So it really is. But, Doc, here's the issue, though. So I have picked Indiana from the beginning. I was the only person here to pick them. And, by the way, no victory lap yet because they haven't won yet. But I made a tragic mistake yesterday.
Yes.
A friend of mine who does one of these injury analysis websites told me that he thought Halliburton might have some sort of an Achilles tendonitis based on his limp and based on the tape on the back of his leg. This was after Game 2, leaving the press conference. So he suspected that Halliburton's not right and therefore might not have a good game last night. Could not have been more wrong. And the tragic mistake I made was I actually bet on Oklahoma City when I took Indiana to win. So what do you make of Halliburton, the tape, the little limp, and the performance?
It's all about the anatomy, Cappy. So let's do some Cappy vision, okay? In 2021, when Tyrese Halliburton was still playing for the Sacramento Kings, he hurt his left knee. He had an MRI. There was no structural damage. He then gets traded to the Indiana Pacers, and in early 2023, he hurts his elbow and his knee again. The reason I mention these previous injuries is this is when you get introduced to the idea of wearing stockings. And I'm not talking about Allen Iverson, who had a beautiful Black Panther tattoo on his arm, and David Stern made him wear the stocking to cover it. But I'm talking about what really happens and what is the benefit of the stocking. Yes, it gives compression. Yes, it gives more warmth, so that increases blood flow. It enhances recovery. But there's a real secret weapon that players, they can't even articulate, but I'm going to tell you what's really happening underneath that stocking, that sleeve that they're wearing. The very fact that it's touching the skin gives feedback to the brain for something very fancy and elegant called proprioception, where you actually, in a hyper way, feel your limb in space. And that is why it is so valuable. Yes, the compression. Yes, the increased blood flow. But to be able to say that because he's wearing a sleeve, that's why he's got the ankle injury and that's going to lead to him not playing as well, they're wrong. These are elite athletes. Listen, Kobe shot 2 free throws and made it with a completely torn Achilles tendon. So next time you want to know if the injury makes a difference, just call me and I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. These compression tights, though, Doc, I used to wear them all the time, in particular when I would travel. So if I would fly, I'd wear compression tights because I was traveling to do triathlons, and I was told that it would increase blood flow if you were wearing compression tights. I'm still not 100% clear on Halliburton and tape and compression and how that impacts his performance when some other people might have thought that it would have negatively impacted his performance.
It's actually a positive thing. It's not a sign of trouble. It's a positive thing. the obvious and the reason you were told to wear compression to fly on planes is to prevent a blood clot. And so you are not allowing for blood to pool in your leg, and you're sitting with the altitude changes. So wearing compression stockings to fly to prevent blood clot is a very good idea. But when a pro athlete playing basketball is wearing those sleeves, it's to give warmth, increase warmth to the muscle, actually increases their blood supply. That compression is part of it, but it's really to heat up the muscles, if you will. But like I say, the ultimate effect is the fact that that material is touching their skin, and that gives a neuromuscular advantage to the player because they can feel better their limbs in space.
Doc, I have a much more macro question for you about the Dodgers. I know we've talked to you so many times about individual guys, and it feels like we've probably had 15 individual conversations about their pitching staff. But let's have a bigger picture conversation. And I know every single one of these injuries has a different form or variation to it, certainly. But, you know, what do you make of the number of injuries they have? I believe it's now 16 pitchers that have had IL stints already this early into the season. We're not even at the halfway point. It is the largest number in the sport still to this point. I know that other teams are dealing with arm injuries and things of that nature. It is just kind of the way that the sport works now because of the way guys are throwing, the amount of torque they put on their arms and things of that nature. But if you had someone in your life who was a pitcher and was asking you, hey, Doc, what can I do to just do the best job of caring for my arm between starts? And there's probably parents whose sons or daughters are pitching, in softball, who are listening right now that I'm sure would love some thoughts on this. Like, what would you suggest they do in between starts?
Do you remember that guy, Tony Robbins?
Yeah, I love Tony Robbins.
I refused to buy the tapes because I was just being cheap. But in the days of those infomercials, man, I used to just watch the commercial,
Love that
trying to glean information. And what was his selling point, which is what made him special? It was simple. He would say, you want to have a good marriage? Talk to people who stayed married a long time and ask them what was their secret. You want to be, excellent in business? Talk to a billionaire. What did he do right? What mistakes did learn from them? And that was like a role model. That's the whole idea of mentorship. Learn. So on the Dodgers pitching staff, you have Clayton Kershaw. I get that he had toe surgery and he had knee surgery and he's had shoulder and back problems in the past. But guess what Clayton Kershaw has not had? Tommy John surgery. So my answer to that, George, would be let's go look at people like Nolan Ryan, for example, who pitched into his 40s and still had more no-hitters than anybody else. What did he do that was different in his preparation as opposed to the little leaguers? And I'm not talking college players. The little leaguers and the high school players that are now coming to visit with their dad to my office for Tommy John surgery. You got to be kidding me. The mechanics, the amount of throwing, not recognizing the value of cross-training, not recognizing that when you say your shoulder hurts, that could lead to later elbow problems. Or when you say your elbow hurts, you better look out. That's because the shoulder's not right. And in the end, Dr. Joe proved that the reason these guys have these shoulder problems is because the acceleration comes from the spine. You know what you use the shoulder for? To actually slow down the arm. So the mechanics, not speaking to people who are doing it right enough, that's the first place that I would be looking when you have this giant spike in injuries, but you have on the same staff pitchers who've been doing it for such a long time without these devastating injuries. That's where I would go first.
Doc, you're the best, buddy. Thank you so much. The great Dr. Robert Clapper every week on Thursdays. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doc.
I love it. God bless you guys. Talk later.
Bless you, man.
We love you, too.
Have that good surf this weekend, man.
Yeah, Cappy, you know who else I love? These crazy Hernandez brothers.
Oh,
you
love
these
them.
guys. I mean, yeah, they're taking care of you. And by you, I mean they're making sure Rachel gets the flooring that she needs, okay?
Exactly.
And if you need flooring, it's very simple. Whether it's your home, your rental, your ADU, whatever it is you need, You call the crazy Hernandez brothers at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. They got 2 locations, Commerce, Santa Ana. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR. That's 866-62-FLOOR. It's a very easy number to remember. And look, man, they're not like these big box retail stores that mark the price up to mark it down and try to fool you. No way, bro. Legitimately family-run, authentic old-school TLC. Crazy Hernandez brothers there. Papi Hernandez started in the 70s. Mom is there. Aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces, cousins, you name it. And you know what? No bogus sales like the big box national retail stores. No gimmicks, just the best price from the start. And that's why you got to call them. And when I say it, I mean it. No sale beats wholesale. So call them at 866-62-FLOOR. And regardless of what kind of flooring you need, hardwood, laminate, tile, vinyl, carpet, you name it, they got it. They got it. Over 5 million square feet in stock inventory, okay? 2 locations, as I mentioned, Commerce, Santa Ana. So they got you covered in both counties, okay? And the reality is this. Both those locations are like the size of 5 freaking football fields. So when you get there, you can see the product, you can touch it, you can take it home with you on the same day, and that's huge, especially when you're trying to finish a project fast. It's why designers, contractors, builders all shop here. They know the crazy Hernandez brothers are always going to take care of you. And check this out. First responders, active military members, veterans, all receive additional discounts on top of the already low prices. And if you somehow find a better price, which I doubt, Hernandez will match it, no questions asked. So head down to Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR. That's 866-62-FLOOR. No games, no gimmicks, just the best price in town year-round because no sale beats wholesale. So check them out on the web, HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net, or call them. Seriously, you call them, they're going to pick it up. Legitimately, the Hernandez brothers, the crazy ones, will pick it up if you call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
I showed up at the hospital and was told I couldn't see my children. Then I showed up in court and was told they may not be mine. Then I was accused of anything and everything. Sexual assault, domestic violence, substance abuse. You name it, I heard it. I was forced to go long periods of time without seeing my children. That experience of being wrongfully treated ignited something in me. I can look at a father and honestly tell him, I know how he is feeling. I've been there. At Real Fathers' Rights, we care about your family, your livelihood, and your future.
Visit NormondLegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Hey, guys, let's talk about Prize Picks. But let's start off by saying this. Do you know ball? I mean, do you really know ball? Are you a ball knower? Well, there's only one series left in the playoffs, and the championship is officially on the line. That means time is running out for you to put your final takes to the test on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports, combine your favorite basketball players from baseball to hockey to esports, and don't forget my favorite darts and much, much more. Prize Picks invented the flex play. I always play flex, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So here's what I want you to do. Download the Prize Picks app. Use our code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. You're going to get that $50 instantaneously when you make your first $5 lineup. That's code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. Get that $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. And it's time for 30 minutes nonstop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing. Thanks to our friends at Real Fathers' Rights. Real Fathers' Rights, the father's rights attorney.
Visit RFR710.com or call 833-ESPN-710.
Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of nonstop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this? And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
Boom, ba-da-bop. Boom, ba-da-bop.
I had to put a little drum solo in there, George.
Yeah, I hear you.
Where's the guitar at, Cap?
Oh, it's in my office. It's in my
Looks
office.
like a ukulele.
Yeah, I just left it in the office.
Cappy and
Yo.
Michael. And Michael, thank you for hanging out today.
Yeah, it's great to have Mike Trudell with us on a day like today. Fun.
I would agree.
Very happy to be here.
So we were talking earlier about Magic Johnson, what he said about Luka Doncic.
Mhm.
Cappy, you want to talk about something else Magic said on First Take. And
Yes.
look, just for posterity, Magic basically mentioned that with Luka, it's great to have him in shape, but that Luka's got to deliver a championship, and Pelinka's got to put a good roster around him, all the stuff that we all expect, right? And we were talking about the honeymoon and how long that will be and what kind of patience people will show. But the other conversation that has been revolving around the NBA, particularly during this postseason, is who is a superstar? As a matter of fact, we had that conversation the other night, as a matter of fact.
We did. I'm actually annoyed for us for having that conversation.
Right,
Because,
I would agree.
Because here's the thing. Like, I'll see Stephen A. Smith with Chris Russo having and Jason Williams having a conversation, Jay Williams, having a conversation about who is and who is not a superstar, you know? And I'll give you an example. The other day on First Take, Chris Russo was making this point that superstars are LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. And then Jay says,
people your mother know.
Yeah, like, wait, what do you mean, Luka? And he said something like, to be a superstar, you have to win a championship. And Jay said, well, Luka hasn't won a championship. And Christopher Russo was like, okay, I'll give you that one. That was the phrase. I'll give you that one. But, George, you're right. We have also been having a conversation, not who is or what qualifies as. The conversation that we've had the last 2 days is really about why are certain people into the NBA Finals and why are some people not into the NBA Finals?
Not enough pizzazz.
And so Lindsay, I don't want to represent your point but you have represented, I would say, 50% of the audience. Just recap before we play Magic. Recap why you are not into the NBA Finals.
For the record, I am watching because, I work at ESPN LA. But I just don't think that – I think it's boring because there's no superstar player that, stands out to me. There's no one that does anything that's like, wow, that's amazing. No superstars. No flash. No pizzazz.
Wow!
Exactly. None of
Okay.
that.
All right, now here's Funchy. Funchy also is on the Lindsay side.
Michael, you'd be very disappointed in Funchy.
Oh, Trudell, you're not going to like this at all. Here's a guy who considers himself a ball knower. He'd rather go get the taste of Italy or whatever it's called at the Olive Garden.
Tour of Italy.
The tour of Italy, excuse me.
Lasagna,
and then you were watching,
spaghetti.
what were you watching the other day instead
He
of
was watching Sex in the City.
Sex in the City, new one.
Yeah. And Michael Trudell, yesterday he shows up at Islands. This brother showed up at Islands with a shirt that had Allen Iverson's name on it and 5 names of dudes.
The class of 96.
Right.
Kobe, AI, Steve Nash, Ray Allen.
And he was
Marbury.
pissed. He was pissed. The reason he wore the shirt is because he feels like George Sedano revoked his ball knower card because Funchy would rather have Korean barbecue or go see the Wu-Tang Clan at the Hollywood Bowl than watch the NBA Finals. So Funchy, feeling like he's on the defensive, said, I'm breaking out my T-shirt that says I'm a ball knower.
Overcompensating, yes.
But Funch explained to Mike Trudell, let Mike Trudell be a neutral party here.
Make this quick so we can get to the point that we're
Gonna
trying to
say,
get to.
this
Keep
is a
going.
very long roundabout way.
That's all right. We got time. We got 30 minutes commercial
No, I
free.
get it, but people have heard this 2 days ago in this time in this specific.
Well,
slot
they're
that
about
we're
to hear
talking.
something new, but I want everybody to represent their own feelings. Go ahead, Funchy.
I'm just sort of in Lindsay's camp that, it's not that exciting. The matchup is not that exciting.
Okay. Now go ahead, Captain.
So me and George and DeAndre have all been pro finals, and Lindsay and Funchy have not been. But this conversation about there's no pizzazz, there's no superstars, there's no super teams. Magic Johnson was on today on First Take, and Magic, for the first time in this entire ridiculous conversation of who is and who is not a superstar, I think Magic actually nailed it by definition. So go ahead, guys. Play for Mike Trudell what Magic Johnson said today.
Define a superstar. A person who can go on the road and sell the building.
There we go. That should be. It's a simple definition.
Simple. I'm going to see that person, right? So you ain't talking skill on the court. That's it. You talk about
draw.
The box office.
Yeah,
you got to be box
Magic's in town. You're going to the game.
Yeah, a superstar got to say, man, or you running home from the office and saying, oh, I got to see him on TV, right? And that's what Larry Bird, people running home. Right, Charles Barkley, people running home. Shaq, people running home. Kobe, people running home. And then, of course, the greatest that's ever played, Michael Jordan. People going running home to see him, or they're trying their best to get into the arena to see that brother play. That's a superstar who could go on the road and sell the building out.
That is the first person that I have heard actually define what is or is not a superstar. Someone who can go on the road and sell the building out. So, George, you and I have been on the side of this is a great series. These are young up-and-coming stars. Does Shai Gilgeous-Alexander go on the road and sell out opposing buildings?
I mean, I don't know, man. I also think that that's not entirely true. Well, first of all, you don't know that. We'd have to look it up.
I did look it up.
Okay, well,
Stand
again,
by.
What I would say is I don't think that's actually accurate either, to be honest with you, because the Lakers have always sold out buildings even when they were winning 16 games.
Okay, I'm just using Magic's definition. I'm not saying
but
it's right.
I don't agree with Magic's definition.
What do you say, Michael Trudell? What do you think?
Well, I mean, the Lakers.
Michael should know he was on a lot of those road trips.
I've been on every single one of those road trips. The Lakers are sexy as the Lakers, right? The purple and gold. No matter who's out there, there's this long-standing fan base and tradition, and so even when it's whether they're really good or whether it's the kids that are out there when they were, even if the team was bad, there's a reason. But to bring it back to the current conversation, like this finals, I can't agree with the take that if you're like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on one side, Tyrese Halliburton on the other, whether they're superstars, are they on the level of LeBron and Steph? Like I think it's more than the way that like Funch has described it, where Tyrese Halliburton, even though it's new to some people still, he does have a lot of that kind of pizzazz. Even if some people think it's corny, like he's talking trash, he's flexing out there, like he is a showman.
And
in
I
a way.
did say he's the only player, in my opinion, on both teams that actually has like charisma that makes me want to watch him.
So that's one example, right? So if you're looking just for charisma, he's got it, and the way that the Pacers play behind that, to me, their whole team has charisma. Like there's a Riz factor. Like they are fun. Yeah. I find myself rooting for Indy just because of the way that they play. So that's one.
Lindsay gave you an eh.
So this is really a Shai conversation, and I agree. Like Shai, based on the way that he talks, his game is workmanlike in a way, but it's not necessarily flashy. But it is to me appealing, and like I don't think that his level of skill at age 26 is so great and so high that he's a top 5 guy already. He's going to win MVP, or he already won MVP. So, like, he's starting to check all of those boxes of the superstar, minus the whole kind of, like, he didn't hit in the way that Steph did, where he captures the imagination of the casual. I can concede that for sure. But does that mean that he's not interesting
I'll tell
to
you
watch?
this. You know why I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's a superstar? Because the greatest player in the history of the sport respects his game.
That doesn't make
I
him
know
a
that
superstar.
for a fact, that the GOAT of NBA basketball looks at Shai, and I know this because I've talked to someone that is incredibly close to Michael Jordan, and says he loves that guy.
But what does that have to do with the regular fan?
Well, the regular fan, I mean, are we really going to do this? Like, you think people actually know what's good for them? Like, I think that we've kind of proven over time that people don't always gravitate to what's best, right? Whether that's dietary stuff, whether
We're
that's
not talking about
what's
best.
Wait, even entertainment. Like, what's the thing that people watch the most? Crappy, trashy reality shows.
Bravo TV.
Like, right? So like that doesn't. I don't necessarily know if that means anything.
We're not having a conversation, though, about, like, who plays the most pure form of basketball. We're talking about excitement and engagement from the regular
the GOAT
fan.
of the game thinks Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a badass.
Well,
Whoop-de-doo.
So I'm kind of in the middle of this. So like I love the NBA, so I'm going to watch. I'm already sold on it. I think the series has been great basketball-wise. Where I would kind of push back a little on OKC, and I would equate them to the San Antonio Spurs in this way. They are so non-drama that's part of what's hard to sell, I think, the casual. And
they've also only been around since 2008.
Well, that's part of it, too. But even the Spurs, that whole run, the Spurs, no media pieces, no feature stories. You can't come in our building, no access. It's all about us. The interviews are boring. So they're not paying into the league in the way that, for example, the Lakers always have. And even like the Shaq and Kobe, for example, that was, you never knew what was going to happen between them. And that definitely pulls in, I think, the more casual observer. So Indiana, I think, is somewhere in between. We already mentioned Tyrese Halliburton. That's part of it. He's his dad, George, playing into that by asking about his dad, which that's all great. That's George bringing in, I think, some casuals, because that clip might get played on a non-NBA hardcore spot. And so my push, what I don't like about OKC is the same thing about the Spurs. They don't play into the fans in that way as much. They just want to exist on their own, and they don't necessarily play the game as they should. And so I think that's a fair
Although
critique.
They've been incredibly accessible during this season in a way that I have been very surprised. Like, I'll give you a perfect example.
Sure, on game day to media, but I'm saying not to the broader broader public.
Here's how I would tell you, okay? And I think more teams have come around to this, okay? But I'll use your team as an example. We do a lot more player interviews now, right, in these quarter interviews. It's a lot less coaches interviews because people are tired of the coaches. And honestly, it shows great access. Major League Baseball is literally interviewing people on Sunday Night Baseball while they're in the outfield or playing a position or whatever. I just saw now during the NHL Stanley Cup Final, like they were interviewing Sam Bennett of the Florida Panthers, like 30 minutes before they dropped the puck, and like they're getting ready to, when he was done with his warm-ups. And what I would say is these quarter interviews are interesting. Like on your team, LeBron and Luka are off limits pretty much LeBron for sure. Luka, I think we were going to do it one time, but it didn't work out. Now Luka did in Dallas do it when he was injured one time, so I don't want to just dismiss Luka. I know AD wouldn't do. I think he did one quarter interview, if I recall correctly.
I think it may be a better chance when they were 26, though, right? Which is what Shea is. So I think that's part of it.
But my point is, like, these guys are willing to do that. For whatever reason, the Pacers, the only guy not willing to do it is Siakam. He just doesn't like doing it, and that's fine. I'm not saying that but the access level for a team nationally, the way to get exposed, and if you're OKC, that's the smart way to do it, is to allow these guys to be exposed to the audience. And LeBron doesn't need any more exposure, so I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not arguing against it. But I do think that the league has done some smart things, and these teams, the smart ones, and I think OKC has been in that category. And it's funny you mentioned San Antonio because their PR guy, who I think is great now, Matt Tumbleson, he came originally from San Antonio. So when
but the organization generally is even if they're allowing ESPN, the partner, access during the games, like it's about the whole year and how much you let your player, and there's no drama, there's nothing like that.
No, I get that. I'm with you on that part of it. No drama, I'm with you. But I'm telling you that this team, when it was KD, Russ, and Harden, you couldn't get to those guys, even if you were a national media outlet. Okay. Back in those days. And that has not been the case with this group of young guys.
Yeah, but people watch those teams, right?
Did they? I mean, they did once they had some real playoff success.
Right.
Originally, they didn't.
Well, and a lot of this goes to the best player, too, though. Like, everybody talks about Golden State, right, and the access, and a lot of that is because Steph Curry gets it and is super open about that, and then, therefore, that it kind of can filter down to the rest of the roster. But
to your point about that, Mike, and George, I thought this was probably my favorite part of the entire broadcast last night, is the fact that Tyrese Halliburton is saying, hey, look, I am a young guy, okay, and I do, as you just talked about, want the exposure that the NBA Finals, I'm on the stage, so you might as well get to know me, America, and the rest of the world. And the fact that he's mic'd during the game and they replay.
And Shea, by the way, both of them are mic'd during the game.
But Tyrese Halliburton and the way, like what I remember from the broadcast last night was the number of times where he's talking to his teammates. And by the way, that's also producer and director and deciding who to put on and what
the league,
clip
by
they're
the way,
going to take.
The league has to approve anything we air in that room.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But Halliburton, the way he communicates with his teammates, the way he hypes up his guys, the fact that he is mic'd when other players might say, I don't want to be. I mean, listen, when I think about great content from the NFL. I think about NFL films. And one of my favorite things of NFL films is when they mic a guy and they put in the microphone into his shoulder pads and you hear the grunting and you hear the cheering and you hear the crap talking back and forth amongst players. Having that sort of access, this goes back to the beginning of the whole conversation, that's the kind of stuff that makes a player go from being a good basketball player to being a crossover pop culture, if you will, star.
And so just one other thing on this. So I think Pascal Siakam is an awesome story, right? And I got to know a little bit more about it because Christian Koloko, who played for the Lakers this year, is from the same city in Cameroon. And just that, like Pascal Siakam, his life, where he is right now, the success that he's reached, the player, the effort that he plays with, the versatility, the defense, all of that, and from a kid who grew up and just had no idea what the NBA was, got spotted at a Basketball Without Borders camp by Luc Richard Bahamute. Like that's the kind of thing, and George can kind of take that, and maybe George, you don't have enough time during those coming back from the quarter in the finals to ask him about Cameroon, but maybe you layer that in right as the game goes on. And you find a little pocket which you're really good at. I know you press the button, you talk to the producer, hey, I can add to this, and then someone's like, oh, this dude, he grew up in Cameroon. Where's Cameroon? Like it's just that kind of thing to get some more of the human interest. I do think that stuff's important, and that can help the broader appeal maybe.
I guess in the final analysis, that's where I'm at in this conversation, George. I'm at the final analysis point.
You've already had the final analysis, and then
that was yesterday.
Final.
No, but that was yesterday.
So this would be the final.
No, this is final just for today. It's one final, only one final.
Linz. Okay.
In my final analysis today, Magic is the first person that I've heard create a definition, and based on Magic's definition, it's everybody wants to see this guy play. And right now, I can say this. I want to see Tyrese Halliburton play. That's a guy who I want to go home and I want to watch that guy play. I don't have that exact same feeling.
He's making a case for it. I agree.
Yeah, I don't have that exact same feeling about Shea because of the things you guys talked about earlier, about him not being like a big charismatic personality. But for Tyrese Halliburton, that's a guy who I want to run home and I want to watch that guy play.
And even just so, I think this plays back to George's original argument. It's rare that you have any team that hasn't won before that's going to get the interest of the common fan because it's so easy to dismiss them. They haven't won. The Warriors, it was kind of a cute story. They were small. Charles Barkley was on the air repeatedly saying, you can't win if you play this small. You can't win with all this
jump shooting
teams can't win. And traditionally he was right, but then that changed, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? They capture kind of the imagination. And now if Indy wins, none of us except for Cappy was ready to believe it. And that becomes then next year. Guess what happens when Tyrese Halliburton comes to your town? You see him a little differently, and then he is. And guess what goes up this summer? All of his advertising deals. And by the way, same thing if it happens to OKC. Instead of being this model franchise that's mapped out the salary cap for the next years, and they're going to pay their guys at the right time, and it's kind of like a machine. Well, if they actually win, George, then it's different for Chet this summer, and it's different for Shea. And Shea does take a leap. So we also have to just have a little bit of patience with two new teams who haven't played at this level. We're watching for the first time. We can't expect the casual American to be logging on and watching every game. But if they're back next year, then you've pulled in X amount more people. So we've got to let it bake a little bit.
My point to that the other day was, and I'm not saying either of these guys are going to be LeBron, but the 2007 NBA Finals were the lowest rated finals in the non-COVID division. Okay, and LeBron James was a prodigy. Okay. And yes, I know it was a sweep, but even the individual, even Game 1 was not rated much higher than this one was. And that was also in an era where the world was a lot smaller nearly 20 years ago, where you didn't have all this competition and streaming and this and that.
And the highest ratings, George, the highest ratings were in 98, right, when Jordan's already been in the finals and he came back, and it's against Utah.
We only had cable.
Yeah, and it's against Utah, who they played the year before, right, at the end of the run. So it's like people really do. You have to know enough, and it takes time to build that stuff up. So that's what's good about having these two new teams to be there.
Good news for you, George. You ready for this? This is really, really good news for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Even Funchy watched, I don't know how much, he told me a little bit.
Just a little bit.
The brother watched a little bit of last night's Game 3.
Can I interrupt 1 second?
You calling a timeout?
I'm watching the Stanley Cup final.
Me too.
The puck just kind of caromed off.
Oh, I got to put that
and
on it
almost hit the official in the schwanz.
Yep. Oh, yeah. He almost took one right to the entire fruit salad.
Speaking of schwanz, how's Morales doing?
Okay. Okay. I'm so glad you just asked that, Mike, because George.
Cappy's been waiting all day to have this conversation.
George,
Not
I
even joking.
need to have this conversation with you, George, and I need to do it while we're in commercial free 30. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
Okay. George, you're going to be calling game 2 or game 4 rather of the NBA Finals. You're busy in Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
So when we don't have you, who's our number like 2, 3, 4, 5 backup?
Michael, Beto, right? Like
Michael
Andy,
Trudell,
right?
Beto,
Yeah.
Ramona, Andy
Ramona,
Kamenetsky,
right, yeah.
Marcus Grant.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm giving you the roster here, right?
Right.
George, do you realize that tomorrow on Friday night, as the week comes to a close,
Yeah.
Mike Trudell is not available to us tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe he's got his kids like an all-star baseball game. I don't know. I haven't spoken to Mike about, hey, Mike, what are you doing? Why can't you join us tomorrow night? I haven't asked him that.
Yeah.
Beto Duran?
I'm busy.
I know you're busy, clearly. Beto has a fight this weekend. So I'm not sure if he's traveling or what the situation is. Beto's got a fight. Mike is busy. Ramona's in Indianapolis. I think Andy Kamenetsky and Marcus Grant may be filling in on Mason and Ireland together tomorrow.
If you looked at the schedule, you would see that, yes.
Come on, Andy. I don't look at the schedule.
We know.
I only look at my schedule. That's it. I only look at me. That's all. I don't need to know everybody else's schedule.
Right.
So George, as you go 5 deep, okay, this isn't the 2 deep depth chart. We're going deep, deep, deep onto the bench.
Yeah.
Okay? Nobody is available tomorrow, right? Wow. So Christopher Arthur Morales said, okay, you know what?
Wow.
I'm going to do the show with Cap. He said, I'm going to do the show. Okay.
Oh,
and,
my.
And that's not bad. That's good. Me and Chris, we got our thing going, right? But Chris said to me, he goes, why don't you come into downtown L.A. for this? And I go, no, not on Fridays, man. No chance. Not happening.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, not happening. So Chris said, so you mean to tell me I'm going to go to the studio, I'm going to sit in the studio all by myself? I said, by yourself? You got Funchy there, you got Lindsay there, you got DeAndre there. I mean, Mike Trudell's doing it right now. Morales says no. He says, I'll tell you what. How about I come to South and I do the Sedano and Kap show
Oh, that'd be fun.
from the crib. Oh. Where I am sitting right now inside the crib. What do you think, George, about the Friday night broadcast going 5 deep, in this case 6 deep? We're getting to Morales. Just Morales, me and Morales, and Lindsay, and Funchy, and DeAndre.
Yeah.
I mean,
at the crib.
In fairness, Morales would be higher on that list if he, became like a full-time, voice. I feel like
he is a full-time voice, but he's just not like every day. He's not on all the shows.
Yeah, I mean, like if he didn't have his suit job.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
he were just like, hey, I've decided, I wanted to be Sedano and Morales, and he booted Cappy out, right? Then he would I think he would vault pretty quickly.
So, George, I now have Morales tomorrow training from Anaheim southward to Solana Beach, where I got to pick him up, bring him to my house, get him all set up, and tomorrow we do our portion of the broadcast from here at Casa de Capi. What do you think about that?
I like it.
It's exciting.
Linz, what do you think?
Yeah, it's great.
Cappy, are you?
I just feel like that's a very long-winded way of saying, "Hey, me and Morales are hosting the show tomorrow."
It really was. I was
really
kind of
like to
wondering
be-
if there was more to this that I didn't know.
I love to be
but,
long-winded. I mean, I know,
Well,
and you always call me out for being long-winded, Linz. But you know what? It's 30
Well,
minutes
she's not
commercial
alone
free.
on that one.
I'm
I got to
just
be
saying-
honest. I was kind of like waiting, was there?
The
Well, I
connection.
mean, I got to put him in my house tomorrow.
the
George.
connection I was looking for was
Okay,
because
yeah.
I
mean,
mentioned
you could have just cut to that chase and we could have discussed it at that
Well,
point.
but I mean, we're going 5 deep here, Jack.
He-
I mean,
he
I'm wondering
wanted
if it's.
He
I'm
wanted to
wondering-
go through the reason why every single person is not available.
Well, George, is it me? Is it my breath? Does my breath stink?
It's a Friday night, man.
Do my
in the
armpits
summer.
smell bad? You know what I mean?
No,
Did
it's
I
Friday
insult
night in the
everybody?
summer. People got stuff to do.
I mean, did I insult Mike Trudell?
Look, I try not to say no to you guys. In this case, it's the last day of school for the twins, and they go straight to the beach after the whole class, like the whole grade. It's a big thing, right? And you gotta. So, like, I got to be there for that.
So you can't come to work because you have to go to the beach.
I will be at the beach.
That's
correct.
I mean, geez, oh man, I would love to have your job so I could say sorry. can't come to work today. I'm going to the beach.
Well, it's not his job to do this show.
I know. I'm just, I'm just saying. I wish I had that luxury. It's amazing. I want to be like you, Mike Trudell.
Well, nothing was given to me. I'll just put it that way.
Just
what
like
do you
LeBron
mean?
says, everything is earned.
Oh, wow.
Earned,
Wow.
not given. Hashtag.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Strive for greatness. Hashtag.
But now, if my name were on the show, right, Sedano Kap,
Cleveland!
then I couldn't
This is for
say-
you!
I couldn't say, it's my kid's last day of school. I got to be there, right? Because I didn't get to do that when it was Thompson Trudell, but now I get to do
Well,
that.
Cappy's done that.
Well,
do you mean?
that's a different story. I
What have I done?
There was
Well,
a
you didn't
couple
go to the beach.
graduations.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, when you have family events and you have to take a day off because you have something that is in real life.
I know, but Trudell is saying that if he were you, he wouldn't do that.
No, that's not what he's saying.
Yeah, it is. Right? Mike?
Trudell, let me ask you a question. If tomorrow night, everything that's going on with the kids' last day of school and the whole community event, would you not take a personal day to deal with that?
Well,
If your name was on the show.
if and there was a time, right, where my name was on the show. In that case, I think I would feel. I'll just put it this way, Cappy. I would feel a different level of responsibility.
Of course.
Now, if I knew that I could get somebody like if Morales was willing to do the show and it was going to be Sedano and Morales, and like, okay, that's going to be fine. Everyone will enjoy that. But if I couldn't get anybody, then I would have to skip my event and be there since my.
Well,
name
that's
was
what
on
I'm
the show.
doing tomorrow night. I'm skipping the event of your
Yeah.
kids' last day of school. I could be at the beach with you, your kids, your beautiful wife. Me and Rigatoni could hang out. But instead, I'm actually working tomorrow night.
And that's why you get paid the big bucks.
And I got Morales coming to my house. I don't know how that's going to go.
Are you going to let him use? What if he has to go number 2?
Which is
Well,
a likely-
Cappy does number 2 everywhere,
Right.
so I mean,
I mean,
not
I go
really
to
much of a.
I do.
argument.
I go to people's houses and do number
You just
2.
well, you made a big deal of it when Beto did at your house, and so I just wasn't sure. If
Well,
Morales-
Beto did it just because Beto wanted to do it, just so he had the story to say I did number 2
and
at Cappy's
Chris
house.
isn't going to do that? Come
Oh
on.
no, Chris is probably. Chris might need some of Funchy's doggy diapers. You know.
I love how Fudge sent us a picture afterwards.
I mean,
Wait, what's happening here, Funch? What?
Friggin' Funchy put his dog in a diaper.
My dog is 15 years old, so he needs a diaper.
What happened was yesterday when
Right.
we were at the remote, Funch was had to run an errand real quick, and he took us on the street with him to right next door to go to the pet store to buy doggy diapers. And sure enough, he came back with the doggy diapers and then sent our group chat a picture. Said, "My man got his diapers on."
That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, so when Funchy's just kind of casually not watching the NBA Finals, he's probably at like PetSmart getting doggy diapers.
No,
or
he
something.
took care of that ahead of time.
Yeah, during the show.
Okay.
That
Cappy,
reason.
we have utilized our 30 minutes nonstop.
Mhm.
I would say mostly wisely is what I would say. Would you agree?
I would say the first part about superstars and Magic, maybe not, but this whole conversation about Morales coming to my house, very much so.
In the interim, why don't you tell us about your friends at Park West Bicycle Casino?
Let me tell you something. Last Friday night was freaking awesome at the Park West Bicycle Casino. You know, I used to go back many, many years ago. I used to go to the bike, and so much has changed. You know, you've heard about new ownership and all the great upgrades and the renovations that have taken place there. The hotel rooms are out of this world. The food and the dining opportunities and all the different kinds of stuff that they've got going on, also incredible. The people who are there, shout out to our boy PK. He's great. And everybody else who works there. We had such a great time with everybody. The blackjack tournament last Friday night. But if you want to play blackjack and baccarat, if you want, free bet and poker, that's Texas Hold'em with 20 tables and nonstop energy. I'm telling you right now, everybody has moved to the bike. You can test your skills in our weekly Wednesday blackjack tournament. That was last night. And also the jackpot. Park West is home to California's largest card room jackpot ever. It's a record-setting $3.7 million. So you should come to Park West Bicycle Casino, and you should get your piece of that pie. And if you're a new player, you get $30 in match play when you sign up at the Players Reward Desk. When you walk in and you say, Cappy sent me. You literally walk in, you say, Cappy sent me. They give you $30 in free play. Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, and really, really close.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
No, how can you be thinking about me with oysters and champagne, man? This is what I'm talking about.
I know that you have an oyster and champagne phobia, and so I was trying to...
I do not have an oyster and champagne phobia. I'm just not having oysters and champagne with you.
I had oysters for lunch, and where Susan and I are sitting there, I'm like, you need to step out of this picture for a second and get the champagne flutes set up there, and I'm like, I'm going to send it to DeMarco.
Wow. Okay, well, I hope you had fun.
We had a great time.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I do not need to be there.
We had a great time. It was
You're just on his mind when he's there.
I'm not kidding you. I waited. So we ordered the oysters, and it took him a minute to bring the wine. And Susan's like, well, why aren't you eating them? And I'm like, because I need the wine in the picture to send it to DeMarco.
You're waiting.
There's no point in sending the picture if we don't have it. They were delicious.
The presentation was outstanding.
That's part of the charm.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood, carpet, and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Purple Wave Auction remains the trusted leader in online equipment auctions. What makes the difference is you. You are part of our growing global community that continues to trust Purple Wave with the equipment that builds and feeds America. This trust placed in us by our community, from construction to ag producers and fleet drivers, brings great equipment opportunities to their next owners. Join the Purple Wave community today. purplewave.com.
And it is Sedano Kap here Thursday afternoon. Today is Red Rose Day.
Scott, you never give me roses.
And it's National Jerky Day. There you go, Cappy. And on this day in 2024, last year, the #1 hip-hop song, Glorilla. Yeah, Glow. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Yo, can I just tell you something? I'm watching the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. 12 minutes to go in the first period. Florida and Edmonton are scoreless. Guess who's at the final? Guess who's there?
I have no idea, so you might as well just tell us.
Well, let me ask you this. Who do people complain about all the time showing too much during a football game?
Showing too much? Oh,
Yeah,
Taylor
they're
Swift.
Yep. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are there in Florida, Sunrise, Florida, Game 4 between Florida and Edmonton, 0-0 like I mentioned, and they just showed the two of them on TV.
What are they doing there?
That's what I was thinking.
Watching the hockey game.
They like hockey?
Apparently.
I mean, why are they not at the NBA Finals? Maybe
Well-
there's no superstars. Maybe there's no pizzazz.
There's no game tonight.
Shouldn't Travis be at like mini camp or something?
No, it's over. Today was the last day.
Oh.
Maybe they just private jetted. Hey, what do you want to do tonight?
I'm
I don't know.
sure
How about
they
we just
did.
get on a private jet and we go down to Florida? What do you want to do in Florida? I don't know. There's a hockey game. Let's go to that. Let's do it. So that's I've not seen them like at any other sporting event other than a Chiefs game or a Super Bowl, of course, that the Chiefs are in. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Taylor Swift tonight and Travis Kelce down at the Stanley Cup in South Florida. Okay. George, I know you're just getting here. I was saying that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were seen at the hockey game tonight down in Sunrise, Florida. I mean, you don't usually see Taylor Swift show up unless it's a Chiefs game.
That is true, but
there she
apparently
is.
they're big hockey people.
Guess so.
Is she like? Where's she from originally?
Do not know.
Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh.
It sounds about right. And Travis
so maybe
Kelce
she
has
grew
no
up on
connection.
hockey. Who knows?
I thought Taylor was from like Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
No.
I mean, she may have been born in Philly, but I thought she was kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought she was a Southern girl because she grew up on
Yeah,
country
I thought she was
music. I thought.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Are you guys ready for a little big deal or no deal?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was getting my dry cleaning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so far you've had a delivery of a burger, some tacos,
Yeah.
and now dry cleaning.
Yeah, I had to get it done.
Gotta have it. Sure, of course. Gotta have it. All right, Lindsay Baseball seems ready. She seems positioned. She's ready to roll. Although she did just roll her eyes. Maybe she's not ready.
I didn't roll my
Twisted her
eyes.
mouth. Yes.
I think she
I always do that.
twisted
I have
her
all
mouth.
kinds of weird nervous tics, but I did not roll my eyes.
I'm believing.
I was looking up Taylor Swift to see if she was previously a fan of the Oilers. Apparently there's some connection with her and Skinner, Jeff Skinner.
Oh, the goalkeeper?
Maybe
Yeah.
the goalkeeper. Maybe they know each other from.
And she's an Oilers fan, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, really? She's an Oilers fan.
You know, we could ask Emily about this. She would know.
Emily would know.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, a few hours. What fun?
I found a connection
What is it?
between
Tell
Jeff
us.
Skinner and Taylor
Please
Swift.
tell us.
Apparently, he went to one of her concerts or like a meet and greet and gave her his jersey signed.
Oh, that was nice.
And they took a picture together and everything. So maybe she's there to support him.
Oh, that's nice. Like he's
cool.
a
That
fan
is
of her
cool.
and she's a fan of him
Yeah.
now. That's
Yeah.
nice. Good for her. Maybe more people will watch the Stanley Cup final.
And it's
now.
probably way easier for her to get to Sunrise, Florida, than it is to Edmonton. That's for sure.
I know that her and Travis have been in Florida or had been in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, doing all the things.
And by the way, didn't Mason and Ireland have a bet that Mason said they'd be broken up by now?
Yeah, they're getting married, I think.
Oh, I hope so.
Hey, listen, that relationship has lasted.
Like
Got
to
to give
see
her credit.
kids.
Yeah, you want to see kids,
Yes,
Mike?
I want them to get married and have kids.
I'm
I
rooting
think
for
they're a cute couple. I like them.
I'm rooting for him.
Rooting for them too.
All right.
Me too.
Speaking of football players, so
Scott Kaplan. Oh.
Oh no, that wasn't nice.
Western Pennsylvania Hall of Famer. Jewish
Well,
sports.
which part wasn't nice?
Wait, well, where was it not nice? He was a football player.
Okay. A few hours after Aaron Rodgers signed the contract at team headquarters this past Saturday, which made it official, the new Steelers quarterback showed up at a backyard cookout hosted by head coach Mike Tomlin. So Rodgers said he had a great time. There was great food, good vibes, had so much fun. And while I do not think this is really that big of a deal, I want to ask you guys, which NFL head coach's house would you like to go to for a barbecue?
Has to be current NFL head coach?
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
that's easy. Like
Andy Reid,
McVay,
right?
a little Tito's and soda. You know,
Oh, yeah,
he
you're
knows.
right.
We know he loves that. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
McVay apparently also has a beautiful crib.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So that's a good one. McVay's a good one.
I mean, I'm
sure.
biased here, but I'm going to our great Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell's pad.
Kevin O'Connell,
I-
KOC, Cappy's boy. You
I
know,
hope-
Cappy knows him from back in the day.
Yeah, I hope he has a spot on Lake Minnetonka. He's probably got a big boat. Maybe Ireland could come and we could teach him how to dock a boat for his spot in Idaho. So I'm going KOC. Just got the extension. It's going to be there for a long time. Seems like a great hang.
Okay. You know who's cracking me up on social media? He's not currently an NFL head coach, and I don't think he'll ever be one again.
John
Freaking
Gruden?
John Gruden cracks me up. Like, he was never this funny, but the fact that every college football program sends him gear, and then he opens the gear and talks about their program and the history of their program, Gruden cracks me up. So, I don't know, lately, he's been...
man, he cracked me up.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. You look at these boxes, man. I'll tell you, these are some nice shoes they sent. Man, they sent a beautiful hat. I'll tell you what, man. His Dayton football team, quite a history, man. Yeah.
You
All
should
right.
start doing that, Cap. Have teams send you their gear and then talk about them.
I would love to. I really would. I'd
You
have
should
all
do
that
that.
gear.
What about going to Andy Reid's house?
That's what I said at first because I
Like,
feel
he
like
has
Oh,
good
Cappy
food.
doesn't like
Right.
Andy Reid.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
I
has
don't
good
like
food.
Andy.
He has
he'd
good
have great
food.
barbecue
He's gonna have like
food,
good
right?
food.
Yeah.
Cappy would be like, "Come on, Andy."
Come on, Andy.
Food
Come
though.
on, come on, Andy. Come on, Andy.
Well, wouldn't Sirianni also be a good hang? I feel like he's kind of a wild man, no?
Yeah, but he might give you like some pregame speech and
Well,
stuff like that.
I mean,
Whoa, DeAndre came close.
Yeah,
Another
they
answer.
give you a pregame speech and stuff.
What about Dan Quinn? What about Dan Quinn?
No, he would no, absolutely not.
no.
Hey, George's boy McDonald seems like he'd be kind of a good time.
McDaniel?
Excuse me, down in Miami.
Dan Quinn would be good.
He's become a little too South Beach for me. I don't know, man.
Dan Quinn, though, Funchy. Dan Quinn works. Dan Quinn spends his off season, at least vacationing anyway, at his house down in Hawaii.
Oh, really?
So maybe we go to
That's fun.
Yeah, maybe we go to Dan Quinn's house in Hawaii. That's not a bad idea.
You seen Cliff Kingsbury's pad in Arizona before?
Yeah.
Back in the day. Not a
nice
current
place.
head coach, though.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. If he got, but when he gets a next head coach job, at some
That's
point,
Trudell's boy.
He's running things.
What about
in
Tomlin? What about Mike
Washington.
Tomlin?
Well, that's where this all
that was
started.
the original discussion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Tomlin would be fun.
He
Yeah,
said
I
it
mean,
was good vibes.
Just genuine good dude. You know, he'd have great stories. He'd make you believe in something.
What about the Harbaugh brothers?
Oh, you know what? I would probably go to Jim
shit.
Harbaugh.
You can get them
are
both.
right.
Hey,
you get them both.
Cappy,
sure.
I hate to tell you this, Cappy. I know we know your Chargers thing, but like I know a lot of the guys that work there, right? The Chargers swear by Harbaugh.
Oh,
He's an awesome guy.
I swear by Harbaugh.
Love him. Love being around him.
Florida
Players love him. Everybody. So he's apparently a great hang. So
Well, Mike-
thank you for bringing that up. That is
Well,
that's a big oversight.
I know
I'd pick
Jim.
him.
I go way back with Jim, and go way back with him outside of sports and media, like in real life.
So you can
Cappy
confirm,
knows his dad,
You
Jack.
can confirm what we just said, Cappy.
And he's a
Kick him
great
in the
dude.
shins.
Okay.
I love Jim Harbaugh. I just hate that Jim Harbaugh is the coach of the Chargers, and you know why I hate it?
Because he's going to win a Super Bowl.
Because I'm worried about it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Because I'm worried about it.
I feel
By the way, there's more Taylor Swift.
Really
more
quick,
Taylor Swift.
Before we go to break, Cap, since you mentioned Jim Harbaugh, I did see that one of the other stories that we didn't end up getting to was about how Khalil Mack re-signed with the Chargers because he thinks that he only signed a one-year deal, but he really thinks that under Harbaugh, like, they have a legit chance to win the Super Bowl. And it had me thinking, like, I feel like a lot of people think that.
Well, they think it every year.
I know,
They will eventually win one
with him. Yeah. The worm has turned.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, I mean, how do you know? You used the phrase earlier, which was you don't know that. How do you know that?
I mean, look, first of all, he's already gotten to a Super Bowl as a head coach, and he's pretty much won and turned every team around that he's ever been at, and including winning a national championship in Michigan, which most people thought couldn't be done anymore. So yeah, like this is their best chance of doing it.
He's got his running back now. You got the big
I
ass
know,
line.
That's right.
I
Omari, he's got a Rondé Gatson as his tight end. ACC, bro, I know you.
They're gonna be pounding people next year.
But here's the one thing one thing you guys are leaving out. He still works for one of the worst owners in the entire league, and maybe one of the worst owners in all of sports. I'll leave it at
the
that.
Arizona Cardinals also once had that, and they went to a Super Bowl. And if it wasn't for Santonio Holmes tiptoeing a ball, diving out of the end zone, they would have won a Super Bowl.
Okay, that is right. But I will tell you that I just can't even fathom or imagine or contemplate.
Oh, I want it
this
to happen
happening.
sooner
I know you
rather
do.
than
I know
later.
you do.
Oh my God! Because
I know.
it would be only. I mean, listen, I want the Rams to win another Super Bowl, but it would just be the next
be
best
great
thing
content.
would be the Chargers winning the Super Bowl because yes, it would make you so miserable. Like
it
the
sure
whole
would.
run would be fantastic.
Right. I mean, listen, it's kind of like why we're all rooting against Oklahoma City because all you've been doing is hyping them all year. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Once Harbaugh invites
Except DeAndre, he's a ball knower.
Once Harbaugh invites the
I am a
three of
ball
us to his
knower.
house, Cappy will change his tune.
Nope, I won't, Mike. It's funny you say that. I will not.
What
And
if he did? What if he did?
If Harbaugh invited me to his house,
Yeah, and he was like, "Come on, I need
Here's-
let's bury
okay,
it.
you ready?
Bury the hatchet." with the
Harbaugh
Chargers."
He doesn't have to bury a
Grow up,
hatchet with
Cappy.
him. He's talking
No,
about
with the
it's about
Chargers.
Harbaugh
Yeah.
Harbaugh invites me to his house and says, "Cap, look, we go way back. We've had a lot of great times. We know a lot of the same people. We used to work together." Okay, on a TV show about the Chargers.
Stable Wars?
No, not Stable Wars.
The horse.
I would, we used to do a weekly segment together every week about.
Is he a part owner of Raging Torrent
But
too?
hold on, but
He
tell
is-
me more about Stable Wars.
He is not. Oh, Mike, you want to
that's a
watch
whole-
Stable Wars?
We'll have to talk about that
Yeah.
another time.
Another
That's
day.
a whole
We don't have
show.
time for that
Yeah,
right now.
right.
Yeah, I do.
You have
So
to wait
the-
for your next appearance.
Yeah, I do.
So
frankly.
if Jim Harbaugh said to me, "Look, come over, let's talk about it," I go over to his house,
Yeah,
we'd
let's
hang
talk,
out,
Cappy, come on.
and then I'd be like, "Jim, I'm sorry, it's not with you. It's with the ownership."
And he'd say, "Look, just get
he'd
over
say,
it."
He'd say,
Cappy.
"Get over it." And I say, "I'm sorry, I'm a Rams
All right,
fan now,
just get over
and I'm
it.
also a Raiders fan now. Sorry."
And he'd say, "Go back to your
Raider
roots."
cap.
Okay, look
Change
at the,
my
Look at
allegiances.
the powder blue.
Nope.
Stop holding these grudges.
Out.
Like
I'll lay
just
down and
think
bleed a
about-
while.
Think
and
about
we'll rise and
everybody
fight
else.
again.
Nope. I'm a Raider fan. I am a Pete Carroll fan.
Raider Cap.
It's me.
Hey, real quick, we got Cappy's Dealer's Choice coming up in just a second. But first, at LAX, changes are arriving daily. The People Mover trains are going to begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investment to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guess between all the terminals, the new consolidated rental car center, the metro trains and buses for those of you that don't want to drive to LAX, which would be awesome. And for those of you that do want to drive, the economy parking and, of course, the Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple to get around and get fast-paced action to your next spot at LAX. And whatever your LAX destination is, it'll go round trip in 10 minutes or less, and the trains will be ready every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. To learn more, go to this website, lawa.org/ESPN. That's lawa.org/ESPN.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah. Tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes. LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Hey guys, let's talk about Prize Picks. But let's start off by saying this. Do you know ball? I mean, do you really know ball? Are you a ball knower? Well, there's only one series left in the playoffs, and the championship is officially on the line. That means time is running out for you to put your final takes to the test on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports, combine your favorite basketball players from baseball to hockey to esports, and don't forget my favorite darts and much, much more. Prize Picks invented the flex play. I always play flex, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So here's what I want you to do. Download the Prize Picks app. Use our code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. You're going to get that $50 instantaneously when you make your first $5 lineup. That's code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. Get that $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Get tickets now.
Look, I got a dog.
Oh. To the movie event of the summer.
You sure that's a dog? Yeah.
Rough. This Memorial Day, the summer starts with Stitch.
Adorable little psychopath.
Disney's Lilo and Stitch, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Thursday afternoon final segment. That's our final segment music. Have a beautiful night, will you? Tomorrow, a Feel Good Friday and a very special edition of the show tomorrow because I'm going down to South taking the Amtrak train so I can fill in for Sedano live from Cappy's house, the compound. a very special edition of Morales and Cappy. Yes, my name goes first when I sing it. Morales and Cappy tomorrow at 3 p.m. Right now, though, final segment Sedano and Cap. Good Thursday afternoon right now.
She stood there bright as the sun on that California coast. He was a Midwestern boy.
All right, final segment here of Sedano and Cap. Mike Trudell.
Thought you might strum a guitar or something there, Cappy.
No. Okay. Certain songs, Mike Trudell, great to have you with us today. Thank you for jumping in today. Very nice to have you. Hey, nice thumbs up right there for you, pal. Very good.
My pleasure.
Oh, and George, George, you getting prepared? You going out tonight or what? What's going on?
I told him I'm going out with Mike's guy PB for a drink.
Oh, okay. Well, I was all right. I'm
Peanut
nice.
butter.
You decided to put on right. Peanut butter is his name. And
Did you already schedule your car?
No, I'll do that next.
Oh, you usually do that.
Yeah,
like,
nice.
hey guys, I gotta go. My Uber's here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do, but it's I still have to put on my pants.
Getting dressed, huh? Really? You're
did the whole
pantless?
show
Well,
without pants?
I have like athletic wear on right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You just put on a nice shirt that just came back from the dry cleaner.
It was still very funny how you're like,
Well, no,
I
this
gotta
one
put
I
on
ironed
pants.
during the break.
Oh, you ironed it?
It was just in my suitcase. Yeah.
Oh, impressive.
Well,
Very
I
impressive.
desperately
funny.
avoid ironing when I'm on the road.
Oh,
I just,
anything.
Ironing is easy.
Anything to avoid ironing.
I just don't,
Do you pack a steamer with you?
No, I just get my shirts dry cleaned, and I honestly I'm a little, I don't love paying the dry cleaning prices.
I was gonna say that would add
But-
up.
And the Lakers don't cover that for you?
It's one of those things where I've never.
I'm sure you get negotiated.
I've never
a little, Mike.
officially
Well, come on.
asked for that kind
Maybe
of thing.
your agent next time around, Mike.
Well, because here's the thing. So for the Lakers,
I bet you George's is covered.
Well, I mean, he's got the ESPN thing. He puts it on his expense report.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a little different because I'm.
Hey there, I'm George Sedano.
I do the TV for Spectrum, but I am not a full-time employee where like some of those types of benefits come since I'm a contractor for them. And my full-time employer, which is the Lakers, right? They don't necessarily for my Laker job, I don't necessarily have to wear a pressed shirt. So I'm just I haven't raised the issue.
The biggest problem though is George, you're going to have a nice dry cleaning bill there at the hotel, but here's the problem. It's actually filling out the expense report. So for someone like you who's very organized, I know that you can handle it no problem. For someone like me,
Lindsay and DeAndre literally walked in one day, saw me do it while I was doing
he
stuff.
does them as he goes along.
For me to do an expense report, like for example, I have like a list of all the places that I've driven to that are not the radio station for the radio station. And I don't know exactly what it is per mile. I don't know what it is. 50 cents, 60 cents. I have no idea.
I actually did not do very much of that when we were doing all those Yamava visits, and Lindsay correctly told me I should have, and I should have, and I did not. But I did it for that San Diego trip. Oh, Florida scored again.
I am telling you right now, George, I am sitting on probably, and I literally have it right here, I have probably 10 or 12. The most recent one was yesterday, West Covina Islands. Previous to that was the Bike Casino.
You can only go back so far, though, Cappy.
Well, this is my point.
After a while, they're like, nah, bro.
Yeah, this is my point.
Snooze, you lose.
Is that right? That's what I'm getting at. Is that
yeah? But you're a procrastinator.
A procrastinator, and I'm unorganized. So when you put those two things together, that becomes a real problem. And that, by the way, is really that I can leave it here. That is the Dealer's Choice Real Deal, brought to you by Seller's Advantage. If you want to sell your house, before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. They make selling easy. You call 888-390-AS-IS. That's the way they're going to buy it. 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer, or you visit sellersadvantage.com. Lindsay, how far back can I go?
I think you'll have to double-check with Bergman, but I mean, it sounds like you have stuff going back to before this year.
Oh, wait, no, Lindsay.
I think the most you can go back is 30 to 60 days.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Because I have the NFL draft at the
no. Well, that one maybe.
Well, that was April 24th and 25th. SeaWorld was April 14th.
You better do them now.
I mean, you better do that one quick.
Yeah.
I know. God, it's such a pain in my ass.
I told you I would have done it for you.
And I appreciate that,
Because you get
Lindsay.
what if your kids are always asking for money, right?
Yep.
Could you
Think of that.
Could you give one of them a little extra money to do that kind of stuff for
That's
you?
a great idea, Trudeau. You make too much sense.
To do your expenses is so easy.
Rachel will do them, and she'll do them in 5 minutes.
Cappy, it's not like you don't travel that much. The driving stuff is super easy once Lindsay told me how to do it, because I'd never actually done it until recently, because I usually do all the other stuff, which is a lot more minutia to it.
All right, Linz, I'll take your advice. You'll show me how to do it.
Yes,
it's super easy.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Just know that I will have an AirPod in at the beach tomorrow, listening to you and Morales from your house.
All right.
So I'm excited about this.
Morales,
right, we're done here.
From the crib.
Michael, thank you so much for hanging out. Lindsay, DeAndre, Funchy, excellent work. The guys in the back, Cappy, excellent work as always.